I hit the 7-iron like John Davis was 3.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Hey, good to be with you here on a recruiting Thursday off the heels of Tommy, myself, Drew, and a bunch of other Arkansas media members getting the chance to watch Arkansas basketball yesterday. Practiced, and they're about an hour. We're going to tell you about it heavily this morning, along with telling you about Treylon Burks apparently making some waves. Tennessee Titan fans suddenly back on board after one catch and one practice. Good to see Treylon back in the arms and the embrace of some Tennessee fans that maybe were a little frustrated for how some mini camps and OTAs and stuff like that went. You got to remember, you can't make too much out of that. They seem to, so good to see Treylon back getting in the good graces of a bunch of Titans fans. Our lineup today includes Anthony Treash, who covers Pro Football Focus and college football. That is where he is at. Tom Murphy joins us at 7:20, and then Richard Davenport at his usual time at 8 o'clock to talk a little recruiting, Tommy.
Yeah, it should be fun. It's good to see, normally this time of year, we're exclusively on football. I can't remember a July basketball conversation as deep as we're probably going to go this morning. And, it's good to see and rare that we've seen Eric Musselman invite, the media in to watch practice. But I think this Italy trip or European trip, Italy and Spain, is give it, they want to get some conversation going. But I think there's a lot of new faces, a lot of people we're familiar with from the recruiting conversation that, we got to see collectively play together, at least for in a scrimmage setting in practice yesterday. And there's going to be a lot of takeaways from that yesterday on how this basketball team over the next few weeks will form and come together and maybe elevate the launching pad for November.
Well, I think for me what stood out is, I've worked here for 4 years, and you've got a lot of other responsibilities, but you actually took time to come to this, right? I don't think I've seen.
Well, I was in the neighborhood, so it was convenient because I was already in Northwest Arkansas, so it's
that's why I was
on the way home.
And that's why I was like, well, if Tommy's making time in his day for this, then that actually means it's important to actually see.
But it's rare that Musselman lets us in the walls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why it was fun, even for that one Morning Rush listener who got a chance to see it in practice. So we're entering the building, and Mike Haywood, who's the communications director for Arkansas basketball, comes over to me smiling. We start talking a little bit, and he looks over and goes, "You see that guy over there?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "You said on the radio that practice was open today." And I said, "Mike, that's not what I said. I said the media's going to get a chance to watch it for it." He was laughing and stuff. But we did. It means at least someone's listening, Tommy.
One guy.
Yeah, at least one.
Not closely, but listening.
At least one guy's listening.
What do you think he saw?
I think he saw a team that is competing and getting after each other. This is going to be an intense offseason like we thought it was going to be. Our first glimpse into it, at least firsthand. We can talk about the secondhand experience that we may have heard about, but unless you see it with your own eyes, it's truly hard to go in all this detail and stuff. And we can't make too much out of one practice, put too much stock, too much weight into it. But I did have a few takeaways from yesterday, and I'm excited to share them with everybody at some point this morning.
Nick Smith looks like he fits in real well for a true freshman already, handling the ball a lot. I would say, he'll be a combo guard by definition, but I think he's going to be someone, Ty, that will probably bring the floor up and distribute and handle the point and set things in motion in the half court. So I think we saw that. I think Anthony Black's another guy you're going to see probably be the 1 and 2s up there a lot. I think those are going to be the two centerpieces, if you will, of your backcourt. And then I think the competition on this team, just from looking at the wingspans, the body sizes, the height, you don't have a 7-footer, you don't have a Vanover kind of guy, that just kind of just stands out dimensionally. Even though he wasn't real bulky, he was real tall. You got a lot of 6'8", 6'9" to about 6'10", 6'11" guys. I think there's going to be some real battles for the 4 and 5 spots, as the insiders called it. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what happens with those two spots as the season gets closer.
Well, if you just roll through the lineup real quick, Devo 6'4", Nick Smith is 6'5", Joseph Pinion 6'6", Barry Dunning Jr.'s 6'6", Jalen Graham 6'8", 6'9", Trevor Brazil 6'8". The Mitchell twins are about 6'9", 6'10". I mean, you have a better average height. This is a graphic that Arkansas put out than NBA average height teams, which is just incredible to think about, that all long and lanky Trevin was asked about that in the post-game post-practice press conference. And he was like, yeah, I've never played with a team on length before. Eric was asked about that, and he's like, when we played Duke, when we played Baylor, we went up some size, and we struggled against it. And that's why he really tried to hit on guys in the portal that he felt like in his recruiting class that you said. And even your guards, I mean, if we think Nick and you think Anthony's going to start at the 1 and 2, that's 6'4", and Anthony's listed 6'7" with his hair. He's about 6'8". That's
maybe taller than that if you go from the top of the hair.
Yeah, that's where that's going to be at, and that's just awesome if you're an Arkansas basketball fan. If those can defend it, watching Nick in high school, and I know that watching high school ball compared to watching college ball, but he gets after you on both ends. I think Anthony has some improvement to do in that department. But it's going to be fun. Devo's barking instructions on the sidelines as a third-year guy, which he needs to. Eric Musselman was very complimentary of that. So, an exciting, and again, we've been hot and heavy on football so far, but for good reason. But it was nice to get somewhat of a basketball in-depth look yesterday.
Yeah, and, basketball practicing in earnest, if you will, for this international trip, about a week ahead of football practice starting for real. So, it's an interesting time to have this conversation, but I think it also speaks to the timing of it. I think Eric Musselman has timed up 2 big trips, and I know Hawaii's not an international trip, but from a travel standpoint, flight standpoint, I know there's a 7-hour time difference going to Europe and where they're going to be playing in Spain and Italy versus Hawaii's, 5 hours difference from here? I believe that's right. I mean, they've got 2 major trips this year, 2 long flights in their schedule. So this team, by the time they get done with Thanksgiving, will have spent probably more time on the road heading into conference play and more, team activity type stuff, probably than any team I can think of. Remember, I'd have to, it'd be a good Bob Holt or, Matt Zimmerman or someone like that type of question that's seen a lot of teams over his years, either as a player, manager, media member, something, because this team's going to do a lot of things that require a lot of away from campus time together between now and when they get back from Hawaii.
And I know Drew asked if Eric had seen any clicks form with some of the young guys as transfers, and he was talking about that everyone seems to be hanging out with everyone, which is good. And when you think about 11 new players joining this roster, the only returning guys being Kamani Johnson and Devontae Davis, you need as much camaraderie, you need as much away from home time as possible, because if they're going to mesh, if they're going to build, there's going to be rough patches. They touched on that, but the players and coaches, they need to be able to endure it and get through it. And so it's good to see that you do have this trip and you do have the upcoming trip to Maui just to kind of galvanize this team when they go through a rough stretch, which is just inevitable. It's going to happen. Glad
you brought up Devo, because he may be the key to this whole operation this year, just because of his leadership. Nick Smith talked afterwards about the relationship, the long-term relationship him and Devo have had going back to Central Arkansas. So I think there's a lot of things that may not be always on the floor, but off the floor, a lot of things that may go through Devo this year. And I think his role on this team is going to be important in the stat box and all of that. He may not even be in the starting lineup every night, but I think it's going to be his team in a lot of ways when we look back and evaluate things, 6 or 8 months from now. Hey, today, which Hardee's location? You're on Rogers Avenue?
Correct.
So if you're in Fort Smith today, get by and see Ty at 11 o'clock today. Another chance to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime, an awesome trip to Kansas City to see the Titans and the Chiefs. We'll be talking about Treylon Burks coming up. Your chance to see him in person. We're going to pay for it. Tickets, hotel, spending cash, all of that. Get by and see Ty to qualify today. If you need a third-pound Angus burger in 90 seconds or less, you qualify for the finals automatically. So get by today from 11 to 1, Hardee's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little more about Treylon Burks. Anthony Treash is going to join us from Pro Football Focus coming up at 6:30. A lot to get to here on a Recruiting Thursday.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Get a lawn extension cord, and I can be out on the tube or on the wakeboard behind the boat.
Hey, we do not.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence
Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
PristineAuction.com is the most trusted sports memorabilia auction site. With an A+ BBB rating, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Just last week, an autographed Justin Herbert jersey sold for $110. Deals like these are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want, including Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and so much more. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item won when you use code HTL when you sign up. Again, PristineAuction.com, use code HTL and get $10 off your first item won. And that's not all. In addition to $10 off your first item, we are giving away a signed Traylon Burks Arkansas Razorbacks jersey to one lucky listener who signs up using this code HTL. Here's your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up on their website using our registration code HTL to be entered. Visit PristineAuction.com/register today.
Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors, or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need additional construction equipment to continue growing? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website at WTEquip.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
That one's caught. Touchdown. Whoa, on a rope. Oh, my goodness. Joe Adams. There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
So Treylon Burks has gotten a lot of criticism from fans and media so far as he's become a Tennessee Titan. And it was good to see some positives head his way. We'll tell you about those coming up in just a sec on the Morning Rush.
Hey, I want to tell you about the Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. I can tell you because they built some gates for me a while back, and they are exactly what I had in mind, exactly what me and Sean talked about. And anytime there's been even the slightest of issues, the Fence Man's been there to help me get through all of that. Hey, the process to get new gates or fence or anything you need, whether it's home or work, is quick, it's easy, and most importantly, it's affordable with the Fence Man. Give them a call at 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The Tennessee Titans put out this video of Treylon Burks catching a great pass from Ryan Tannehill where he had to go down and get it. It was really a great catch, more than a great throw. He beat Kristen Fulton, who I think used to play at LSU, if I remember that right, for about 40 yards. And this is from Teron Davenport, who we've had on this show, that Burks has lost 4 or 5 pounds, or 5 or 6 pounds, and he said he didn't approach things right initially, but vows to get things going moving forward. And you know, as we're talking about the high school to college transition for Nick and Anthony and Jordan and Barry and Joseph and Darian, it's a whole nother level to go from even the SEC to what's expected in the National Football League.
Well, and then you trade away a franchise player with Antonio Brown to get, or at least the perception is you made that trade to get the future of the position and the future of your offensive wide receiver with Treylon Burks. Now, that's a hell of a lot of pressure for a kid that's never played a down of professional football. Probably unfair is how you would label that correctly. Now, we're looking at it through an Arkansas lens. He's an Arkansas guy. He's one of us. We want him to do well. But that's the kind of pressure before draft night was even over was heaped upon him. Then he comes to practice. There's the asthma issue, which how much did we hear about an asthma issue, a breathing issue, prior at Arkansas? That wasn't
a peep.
But what was reported? Out of shape, couldn't handle that first practice. Which may have been a little bit of something to that because they're pointing out a few pounds weight loss, but it was really something else. So I think the franchise and the GM, I heard a little quote from him, is starting to get his back a little bit on some of this. I think they could have done more. But I think the expectations and the pressure put on Treylon Burks right now because of the trade to set up his draft selection is probably too much and unfair.
And to your point about A.J. Brown, I agree wholeheartedly. When you trade a guy like that who has had injury and durability concerns of his own, but when he is on the field, he is an outstanding wide receiver coming from Ole Miss as his former teammate DK Metcalf. That's really tough on Treylon, and the expectations, whether they're fair or foul, are that he's going to be the eventual new A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
And so he has to, at least from a fan standpoint, live up to that. And we talk about the differences from fans in the National Football League to fans in college. There's a lot less degree of pressure that faces college kids from fans than when the NFL, and there's less targets thrown their way. But when you're getting paid professionally to do that and you do not perform, then there's the added pressure of whether that you think that's fair or not. The fans feel like they should have more of a say with what you do on the field.
Well, the gloves are off in the NFL. I mean, in college football, is as much conversation as goes around, the things that can be written and said, or it's nowhere near the same level. And then, man, you mess up someone's fantasy team on a Sunday with a poor performance, and then you are going to hear about it in the NFL. So there's no question that there's pressure not only in the market you play in and the response you're going to get from a bad performance, and it's a two-edged sword with a great performance, but, man, it's such a fantasy-driven league. You have a bad day and you're on someone's team, you're going to get roasted on Twitter or Facebook or IG or whatever.
There was this one time where I needed, I think, 3.2 points from a guy that was averaging like 10 a year, and he got me 3.1. And so I just went off on this rant, and I probably shouldn't target him, but like you said, fantasy, for those that play it, and at some point in time, I think you'll jump in with some of your friends, Tommy, because it's so fun. You don't have to be this just incredible guru when it comes to watching the National Football League, but it's something fun that you can do with either your college buddies, your wife's friends, husbands, or whatever the case may be, and it's entertaining. I know that we're excited to get to our draft coming up in August, and it's a lot of fun. But, yeah, it is. Fantasy has completely changed the outlook of fandom in the National Football League, but I think it's also enhanced the number of people that watch it, just the casual fan that you might not get. I guess we have to buy our Red Zone package in the next month or so we can get ready for Red Zone this year.
Is it still with DirecTV? That's going to move to like Amazon or Apple or something. I don't know. That's just been the chatter out there.
We need to look at it. We just buy the package and watch Red Zone from basically 12 to 6:30 or whatever.
Well, there's two different Red Zones too.
Correct.
That's the other thing I found. I used to have DirecTV. Now I'm with Dish, and I've got there's what's it? Scott Hansen does one, and Andrew Siciliano does another. So
there you go.
I mean, I've watched both of them. And,
have you?
And you're right. If you're not intently watching a game, that's the thing to probably have on to keep up. But particularly if you're a fantasy player, which I'm not. Do you think? And this may be out there because I don't pay any attention to this fantasy stuff. But would fantasy SEC or fantasy college football work, or is that already being done? And
there's people that have
unaware.
tried it. It's just not as popular because the sport of the NFL is what it is, and it takes up so much of people's time when they participate. It's not. I think it could work. I think it would work maybe on this show and this station if we did an SEC type league, because a good chunk of our audience, not that they're not Dallas Cowboy or Kansas City Chiefs or, me and Brett's case, Green Bay Packer fans, but I think a good chunk of our audience is more SEC football than they do NFL.
Yeah.
I just sit in my lazy boy from about 12 o'clock on Sunday to about, 8 or 9 that night through the first half of the NBC game and do nothing but watch. I couldn't have Clay's job where I'm working on Sunday with a good chunk of stuff.
Well, and if you had kids, if you had a wife, if you had all the house to take care of, just Sunday is catch-up day, and getting ready for work Monday. So, but there's a big game. Cowboys are playing the Packers, or the Chiefs are, playing Tampa Bay or something. I mean, I think anyone that loves sports going to shudder down to check that out. So, hey, speaking of TV and sports, World of Wireless has all the plans you need through Dish to watch. You can get that Red Zone channel. In fact, there's certain plans they'll throw that in for free. Right now, they'll throw in the Google Ring or the Google Doorbell. It's like the Ring product. It's got the camera built in, and it integrates with a Hopper system. It's $150. It's yours free when you sign up for Dish this weekend on a free weekend from World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. Lock in your price for 2 years with World of Wireless.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk with Anthony Treash, talk a little college football this morning.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here. HitThatLine.com.
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at the Burton Pools & Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Get the pool your family has been begging for and save up to $7,000. Plus, get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers. 6 models to choose from while supplies last. At Burton Pools & Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Call, come by, or visit burtonpools.com. Burton Pools & Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
It's July and it's hot, and so are the prices at Frank Row Furniture. For the month of July, Frank Row Furniture has slashed the prices on all made in the USA furniture. You can save hundreds of dollars and in some cases thousands. Made in the USA furniture, family owned, in-store no credit check financing, service after the sale. Frank Row Furniture. Best seats in the house, 405 Port Street, Barling, Arkansas.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Shop Mentor's Lumber True Value for summer savings, like a Lightsol 4000 lumen tactical flashlight. It's perfect for your home, car, or camping, and it's only $24.99. And keep your flashlight and other devices running with your choice of a 16-pack Energizer Max AA or AAA batteries. They're just $16.99. For tough cleaning jobs, get a 200-pack of Scott's all-purpose rags right now for only $12.99. Hurry into Mentor's Lumber True Value for these bargains of the month while supplies last. Certain exclusion supply. See store for details.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Now, Red Solo Cup is the
Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Handoff right side, big hole, Dennis Johnson. He'll have the first down and a lot more. He may have 6. Touchdown, Arkansas.
All your favorite podcasts in one place. The Hit That Line Podcast Network. Brought to you by Breeden RV Center. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, back here on the Morning Rush, we're going to talk in just a sec with Pro Football Focus is Anthony Treash. He had some quarterback rankings I want to ask him about. Plus, we will get into some other headlines as well and what we saw in practice last night, Tommy.
37 or 38 days?
37.
37 days from the first football game. And anytime the Hogs are on TV, and every football game's on TV, you can go to Joe's Grill and Cantina, half-price apps and taps during the game. So we're looking forward to that being back during the season. They also do that as their special every Wednesday, so you can stop in for that. Today's specials are the taco burger and the Bang Bang barbecue sandwich. I have not had the barbecue sandwich, but I've heard it is really good. The taco burger is fantastic. And then tomorrow is Fajita Friday. Chicken and steak fajitas on special. Saturdays, dollar tacos. They got pork carnita tacos, brisket tacos, pork belly tacos, and burritos all on special Saturday. But the headliner for the weekend is the dollar tacos on Saturday, just like Tuesdays. So stop in today for the special, which is the taco burger or the Bang Bang chicken or barbecue sandwich, $8 and $9 respectively. Fajita Friday tomorrow, all at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Tommy, you were talking about NFL Network Scott Hansen, and Smack Daddy's favorite phrase during Red Zone is 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now.
That you're paying for.
Yeah, that
you're paying a premium for.
That you are paying for. So I also got a text in here from to our quarterback conversation from Robert in Nashville. You don't hear of many 2 pro quarterbacks, though, getting their vehicle burnt because of a bad game, referencing Brandon Allen getting his truck burned down back in the day.
But was that before a bad game? I don't think they ever got to the bottom of that. I don't believe that. I don't think that was really anything tied to his player performance at Arkansas.
Anthony, as we welcome in Anthony Treash, Pro Football Focus, into the program. I don't know if you heard about that story, but when Brandon Allen, former Arkansas quarterback, was asked about his truck getting burned down, his response was, "Yeah, when it stunk. My golf club's in there." So if your car was burned down, if you found out that someone intentionally burned down your car, what would your reaction be?
I don't know. I'm honestly taken away by the story. I need to know more about it. If my golf clubs were in there, I'd probably be a little bit more upset. But no, I would be. Yeah, I don't even know what my reaction would be. I guess I just like I am now, shocked.
My reaction right now would be, my God, I had a full tank of gas. That would be my reaction today.
Just filled up yesterday.
Like, oh, it just filled up.
Oh man, yeah, that was something that. He was frustrated about. And Brandon was a guy that I don't know got the credit he deserved, especially in 2015 when he put up some pretty prolific numbers. He was in a tough situation. His first start was against, if I remember correctly, Alabama in 2012 after Tyler Wilson got a concussion. They just got throttled in that game. He slowly progressed. He was in a new coaching staff under Brett Bielema and stuff. KJ Jefferson in a kind of a similar situation, no-win situation with Chad Morris, starts to have a little success under Kendall Briles and Sam Pittman. You've got him at 26 right now in your rankings. What does KJ, in your mind, have to do this season to improve his overall college quarterback stock?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for KJ this year just to start. I mean, Arkansas's got an absolute gauntlet of a schedule, and if things go south, hopefully they don't. If they do, hopefully his car doesn't get burnt down. But no, KJ, I think last year he checked all the boxes, right? I mean, he did everything you kind of wanted at the quarterback position. And, you know, the biggest thing, too, is with this offense is that he's pretty protected in it, right? You're not getting a lot of pure passing concepts. It's pretty quarterback friendly, but again, he carried it out as designed, and he showed he could make an impact with his unique skill set and a massive frame, the designed run game there. So I think, honestly, the biggest thing is just, you know, if Arkansas does get down, then that's when those pure passing concepts are going to come out, and that's when he's going to have to probably do a little bit more. And that's where we kind of want to see some growth from him from this season. So, I mean, sitting right there at number 26 is, I would kind of classify this like that quarterback ranking, and I put out a top 50 over at PFF.com. I think the top 4 are pretty, you know, I think they're different in a good way compared to everybody else. And then I think you go from 5 to, you know, maybe 30-something, and I think you probably could argue any of those guys deserve to be in any of those slots, right? I mean, it's kind of splitting hairs, what you kind of prefer, you know, at the quarterback position. But, you know, honestly, that's probably the biggest thing with KJ. But, you know, last year he did take a massive step forward. So if he can just show, you know, if Arkansas does kind of need him to put the team on his back, and they're going to need to do that this year at times, just given their schedule. And, you know, he did a good job of it last year, but getting to that next level, that elite level play in those situations is kind of the difference there.
How do you think his game translates, when you got to see him at the end of last year to the next level in the NFL? I mean, NFL teams don't like to design a lot of runs for the quarterback because they pay him so much, but that's the core of KJ's game. And how does his game translate now, and what has to change this year in regards? You mentioned the passing stuff. What about it translates now, and what has to change for him to be selected in the first few rounds of the NFL draft at some point?
Yeah, KJ, he kind of has that skill set that makes a very good college quarterback, but that's when the pro projection gets a little tricky. And honestly, what I just mentioned a minute ago about being in that quarterback-friendly offense, that's probably the biggest thing, too, that's hurting him a little bit. I remember this past cycle, I talked to multiple NFL coaches that, they were pretty upset with just the way some of these college offenses ran because, in last year's draft class, you had Matt Corral at Ole Miss, Sam Howell at UNC, and it was difficult for a lot of these guys to get a good evaluation of them because they weren't asked to do a whole lot, right? They didn't have those NFL complex reads there. And that kind of hurts KJ being in this offense that, doesn't necessarily have that. It's a little bit friendlier there, makes for possibly an efficient passing offense at the collegiate level, but it doesn't necessarily help him, show that he can be a, franchise quarterback at the next level. So, it's that. I think also he could probably just speed up his play style a little bit. And is that going to happen? Probably not. That's just kind of the quarterback he is. And, that's fine. But, honestly, they would probably like to see that just a little bit quicker. And like you said, when your biggest trump card is your, just what you can do in the designed run game at the quarterback position, unless you're someone like, Lamar, who's just a freak in that sense, it does kind of hurt you a little bit. It can be just an added bonus, but if that's what you're probably relying on to get to that higher ranking, that's where you can probably get hurt. So that's where I kind of go back to what I mentioned a minute ago, just about showing that, he can handle, a little bit more on his plate. That's the biggest thing for him and kind of improving his draft stock.
It kind of reminds you, talking about going from one level to the next and the style of plays. It reminds me, Bobby Petrino was at Arkansas, made this comment. I've heard other coaches in the college game at that time make the comment of their frustration with high school offenses and quarterbacks never under center. So they come to the college level and you need to take a snap under center. It's something they may not have done in several years or maybe ever in their career. So I think there's probably a similarity in that kind of frustration you're talking about with the NFL coaches.
Oh, for sure. And like a prime example of that, we're going to see Cam Ward over at Washington State, and he come over from Incarnate Word after a couple of years. And the big reason why he's at Incarnate Word at the first place is because his high school offense was a wing tee. He didn't do it. He did not know how to play quarterback when he went to Incarnate Word. He had to learn everything, right? He never had a play action fake in his life until he showed up to college at Incarnate Word. But he showed the tools that at least got him the scholarship there. And now he's at Washington State. So, it's kind of the same thing there. I think it's just going to kind of remain in that way. I don't think we're going to see, just kind of everything stay the same. Honestly, if it does, football's going to get a little bit boring. So it's a good and a bad thing, just kind of depending which ones you look at it from.
Anthony Treash with us this morning, Pro Football Focus. One of the more intriguing games on Arkansas' schedule that not a lot of people are talking about is South Carolina Week 2. Spencer Rattler coming over from Oklahoma after losing the job to Caleb Williams, put up really good numbers. You are really high on Spencer Rattler. Why do you think he's going to have success this year in Columbia?
Yeah, it's fascinating because I've never seen anything like that, like the whole situation with Spencer Rattler, just the rise and the fall so quickly within a couple of months span. It was interesting last year. Well, I'll start with 2020. That year he was one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He was one of the highest graded ones. He's still our highest graded quarterback in our database going back to 2020, as a matter of fact. And that year you saw kind of the typical, young, inexperienced quarterback mistakes, and that's just the willingness to play outside of the structure of the offense, just a little bit too much reliant on that, inviting in pressure, holding onto the ball too long, just ignoring the check down, doesn't want to take what the defense is handing him, and wants to go for the home run downfield. And that's typical. But, with his arm talent, he still found a way to make a ton of special throws, and it eventually led Oklahoma to the Big 12 championship game, right? Oklahoma didn't win the Big 12 that year because everybody else outside of Spencer Rattler was awesome. They had a good team, but that was because of Spencer Rattler. And last year, that stretch where he didn't really put up the numbers that a lot of people were expecting to see from him, the Heisman favorite, the preseason favorite to be the number 1 overall pick. Closer games than expected. And you look at the play calling, and you could kind of see the lack of trust there. So I wasn't too surprised to see him get benched just because you saw those downfield opportunities just kind of, get taken away slowly but surely as those first month kind of went along there. With him, he's still one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football. I think in this offense at South Carolina, a more pro-style offense, I think he's really going to excel there. The offensive line's a little shaky, but with his, I would say one of his greatest strengths, just, running and throwing outside the pocket, like I said, creating off structure. That's the biggest thing. But again, the biggest thing you want to see him clean up is just not getting too reliant on that and wanting to be kind of the playmaker on a play-to-play basis. But, like I said, he's still at the top of pretty much every metric we have here at PFF over the last couple of seasons. And if he was at, 127 other FBS programs last year, he's a starter from start to end, and we're talking about a completely different situation. And, I think a lot of the narratives that people think he's not as good, he's not a good quarterback, just stems from the personality rumors, the Netflix documentary, right? But, again, he's still very much one of the best quarterbacks in college football. There's a reason why everybody thought he was going to win the Heisman last year and be the number 1 overall pick. That player didn't really leave him. He didn't play up to snuff for the first few games. He still played pretty good in our metrics. He actually had the lowest negatively graded throw rate in college football last year, which a lot of people wouldn't believe. And I challenge anybody to go back and watch every throw, and you will see that. I mean, it's just a rough start in that Tulane game when all the eyes are on you. First play, or what was the second throw, first throw, interception, right? And it was a classic Spencer Rattler mistake. But, he still kind of fixed that. And also, he was just a little bit more willing there with Lincoln Riley. But, again, the leash was short, and when you can't create those explosive plays downfield because the opportunities aren't necessarily there, then you're probably going to look in another direction there. And, again, Caleb Williams, that replaced him, I mean, that's a top 3 quarterback, I think, too. I mean, he's still one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football. So I think Spencer Rattler is going to succeed at South Carolina. It's just kind of like how will he get there? I think his receiving core is very much underrated. I mean, Austin Stogner, more traditional tight end, but Jaheim Bell, a versatile weapon, that's listed as tight end. And then you have Josh Vann returning. You have Juice Wells, the James Madison transfer, who was one of the 5 most valuable players at the FCS level over the last couple of years. Corey Rucker coming over from Ark State. I mean, he has a ton of weapons there to dispose of. The defense is in good shape. So I think South Carolina's, they're not going to contend by any means, but they could play spoiler to some of those teams that have a lot of high expectations. And Arkansas could be one of them. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting, and that's like when I first went over all the schedules, that was the game the first few weeks. I was like, that's the one I'm looking for because I think we're going to find out a lot about really both of these teams.
Anthony, we'll leave it there this morning. We appreciate your time, your insight from Pro Football Focus. Enjoy college football this season. 37 days out from Razorback football. We're even closer to week 0, and we hope you enjoy this upcoming fall, man.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you, guys.
Good stuff from Anthony Treash. We'll react to that. Tell you about practice yesterday coming up in just a sec.
Hey, brought to you by WT Equipment this morning. 8 locations across Arkansas and North Louisiana, and they're now open and really getting settled into the new location in Springdale on the east side of I-49 between the Don Tyson and the Johnson exits. If you get off at the Don Tyson exits, turn right at the Casey's. You go down there on 48th Street a little ways, you'll see the entrance to WT Equipment. Great place to find everything you need to finish up. I bet you're not getting a lot of hay this summer, but maybe if you're putting up a little bit, you've been the lucky one to get a little bit of rain. Maybe you're already thinking about fall harvest, and hopefully you've got some things working there. They've got everything you need. Compact track loaders, excavators on the construction side. They have that as well, and they've got 8 locations that always have a great inventory to select from, whether it's new or the pre-owned inventory. So when you're ready to invest in a new tractor or other agricultural equipment, stop by WT Equipment. You'll find them in Springdale and 8 locations across our region online at WTEquip.com.
So a lot of things were said there before we get to the basketball practice, Tommy. He talked about just his willingness to go on a limb for Spencer Rattler, who by no means had a bad season last year for Oklahoma. Caleb just ended up being the better solution for Lincoln Riley and company. But you think about the quarterbacks that Arkansas has to face, him, Bryce Young. You've got questions at LSU, questions at Texas A&M, questions at Ole Miss, but that doesn't mean those questions can't be answered, and you're going to have a tough time with some of those.
Yeah, and South Carolina's a program that's trending in the right direction. Shane Beamer has, probably as much energy around that program since, Spurrier's been there. I mean, it's not to that level yet, but they're not winning 10 games, but it's a new East with Georgia kind of back on top. But there's room because Florida's not great. Tennessee's got a lot of trouble around their program right now, even though they've recruited well, and they seem to be trending. I don't know what all these allegations and NCAA issues are going to what kind of effect that's going to have on their year. I think there's a place for South Carolina to kind of sneak in and continue to work up while Florida's still trying to rebuild. We'll see what Billy Napier does in year one. Why can't South Carolina be the second or third place team? Kentucky thinks they can be. South Carolina can probably sneak right in there as well. So I think they could be a team that causes some problems, and crossover games are a place that you're going to measure them quickly, and how they play against Arkansas is going to give you an idea how good South Carolina will be.
Yep, and that's going to be a really good, intriguing Week 2 game. A few more people might be watching Texas and Alabama, but my guess is the Arkansas-South Carolina game's a little bit closer.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a great measuring stick, for how you're going to be. And face it, if you're going to win 9 games, you got to start out 3-0. That's a game you got to have if you're going to get to 9 wins.
All right, so basketball practice yesterday. We were talking a little bit about the admiration that both Eric Musselman and Nick Smith Jr. shared for Davante Davis. Here was Nick initially on Devo. You got to remember, these guys grew up together. They competed against each other. And here is what the number 1 recruit in the country said about his friend since about 5 or 6 years old.
Devo's my brother. We've been connected ever since we was 5, 6 years old. A lot of people don't really see that, but me and Devo is extremely close. I talk to Devo each and every day. Some stuff that I probably don't want to say, to other people, but I can go talk to him about it. He also been here. That was one of the reasons why I came here, because I knew that, I knew I had the brother to lean on, especially when stuff get bad. And talk to, Devo is like I said, a brother of mine. We grew up playing against each other. Ever since we was young, he been beating me up, so he can't really beat me up no more. So
he's been beating up ever since we were young. It's when guys are in high school or middle school together, and you got a guy that's 1, 2, even 3 years older, and then the other one matures and progresses. You sometimes have that. And Devo is a 4-star coming out of Jacksonville. Nick, a 5-star coming out from in Sylvan Hills first, and now North Little Rock. And here's 2 guys that, and you mentioned Davante's role, whether it's a bunch of playing time or just being that leader. I don't know how this starting lineup's going to shake out. I don't know if Muss is going to expand his rotation. We've seen it shrink down to about 7, sometimes 8 guys at any given point, especially around the NCAA tournament. What I do know is Devo's going to be an important piece, whether he plays a lot of minutes or not.
Yeah, I think there'll be games he starts, and I think early in the year, I think he may start more games. I think matchups as you move through the SEC may change that. I was talking with someone who watched practice yesterday and has seen a few more practices than the one we've gotten to see, and they kind of had the opinion that you may see 10 or so guys play early. There's going to be a few guys that just aren't there yet, and then that rotation may shrink, but that 8 for a game at LSU may be a different 8 for a game at Ole Miss, or a different 8 based out of that 10 because of matchups, because we've seen Muss do that from time to time. We saw it, on a smaller scale, maybe with Vanover starting certain games. Now, his role diminished as the season moved on, but there were times where the opponent had a bigger player and he got a few more minutes or got a few more looks or started the game. He wasn't in there just to get the tip. And but you've got better depth, you've got better size, you've got better athleticism with your bigs this year. And I think that's going to be interesting to see how that rotation works out when you get to January.
And flexibility is going to be something that Eric Musselman has. He can go big or go small. And when I say go small, yes, you're going small in terms of a traditional lineup, but your smallest player right now is Davante Davis at 6'4". Yeah, I don't know if Auerbach is a little bit, so I'm not counting him since he's a walk-on, but Devo is your smallest guy. I'm running through this in my head real quick. At 6'4".
That's Darian Ford, because he had much bigger than that.
He's about 6'3", 6'4". Yeah. He's about in that range. So if you want to say maybe Darian at 6'3", 6'4". So they look very similar, both lefties. Darian out of Magnolia, Devo out of Jacksonville, and they play very similar, are willing to get to the rack, have a pull-up jumper. I know that I was watching, Darian was frustrated with himself yesterday. He missed a few shots, got a turnover too. We can't make too much, as we said to start the show this morning, out of one practice, but I'm just appreciative that Eric allowed us to watch it. Like some coaches with the new, we don't want any involvement with media whatsoever. Muss, even after the press conference, was like, Mike, can I stay with these guys a little bit longer and talk a little bit more, which he did for a little bit. So I was encouraged at some coaches, and there is pressure on this team. Make no mistake about it. When you have the number 2 recruiting class in the country, when you have the number 1 recruit in the country, when you have gotten to the Elite 8 the past 2 years, Eric knows there's pressure. He absolutely does. But how this team reacts to it, especially when they hit a wall, how the freshman wall, which he mentioned yesterday, that's going to be a key to how these guys get out of it, especially when you have 11 new faces a part of this roster.
One thing that, this is just a minor detail, but I think it probably has a much larger motivational factor for this program. Up in the corner, there in the Eddie Sutton practice gym, is a banner that lists all the championships. Now, there is no Western. There was a couple of the Western Division championships and stuff in the past when Arkansas was rolling, but the divisions have been gone for a while. I believe the last one on there, if I'm remembering that, because I'm just kind of talking here, I didn't make a note on this, it was 2000 for the SEC tournament title. You hadn't won the regular season. You hadn't won the conference tournament since then. Yeah, that's something they'd like to put a new one up there, because you look over there, they got the Sweet 16s. They don't have banners for Elite 8s, but you got the last couple Sweet 16s that you've been to. That's something you like to win. And we talk about regular season stuff really not meaning much, and it doesn't in the grand scheme of things, but this is a team that's going to have a chance to put something on that championship banner. You hope it's the big one, but this will be a team that could either win in Nashville or possibly win you a regular season championship. They're going to be in the mix for that this year. That might be something. I didn't realize it had been, 22 years since you'd won some kind of conference or championship.
Did you win the regular season in 94? I know you lost in the SEC championship in that great, I want to say, overtime or double overtime game in 95.
Kentucky.
Did you win the regular season in 94 or 95? I'd have to go back and look.
I believe you did, because they were, 32-3. They didn't lose very many games that year. So but Kentucky was at its pinnacle as a program. They've had a lot of them, but that was about as good a time as Kentucky's had too.
I think it's one of the special things in sports when the team from the previous year comes back in professional or college, and they either distributed rings or the banner goes up. And I know that every young man or middle-aged man, depending on what sport you're playing in college or professional, wants to be a part of a ceremony like that. And you mentioning that, being able to raise that, you say, I was a part of a team that helped put that banner up inside of Bud Walton Arena. This team wants to be able to do that. Time will tell if they're going to be able to or not.
Hopefully you'd have a lot of them back, but there's 2 players back from last year's team. So that's the thing about raising them. You'd have to invite a lot of people back usually with Muss's team's always a lot of turnover. Hey, Hardee's the place to be on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith today from 11 to 1. Ty, you got another chance for people to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime. You got them burgers they can eat today.
Yeah, 90 seconds or less. Stop by and see me on Rogers Avenue. Chiefs and the Titans, Traylon Burks and Patrick Mahomes going at each other, the 17th annual. Who's going to dethrone Darrell Bailey this year? Who wants to be the big dog to do that? Come by and see me today from 11 to 1. When we come back, we're going to get into Jaden Hazelwood a little bit, his impact on this football team. Andrew Ivins, 24/7 Sports, had something to say about it.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he too misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms, especially through the early part of the day. Our high this afternoon will be in the low to mid 90s. Occasional showers and storms capable of producing some heavy rain, especially across the north. An overnight low will drop into the low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by the Bobby Garland Baby Shed. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place.
Cobbs breaks it to the outside, and he could go. The 15, the 10, the 5. Wow. Touchdown, Cedric Cobb.
What a left arm, stiff arm.
And then the speed was amazing. Whew.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I
hit the 7-iron like John Davis with 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just got to keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a recruiting Thursday. Had a good conversation with Anthony Treash in hour number 1, Pro Football Focus. It will be in the Bud Light Next Morning Rush podcast. Also talked a little Arkansas basketball practice that Tommy, myself, and Drew got a chance to watch yesterday. We'll talk more about that coming up with Tom Murphy. But I do want to play this clip from Andrew Ivins of 24/7 Sports, who is high on Jaden Hazelwood this year, as you should be. The former number 1 recruit high school-wise at the wide receiver position, coming over from Oklahoma, teaming up with his former high school coach, Jimmy Smith. It seems to be a match made in heaven, and Arkansas needs a wide receiver. They don't just need one, they need a couple. Here was Ivins on what Jaden Hazelwood could bring to the table this year.
How about Jaden Hazelwood, former 5-star wide receiver? And I said I went class of 2021, class of 2020, and then class of 2019. I mean, Jaden Hazelwood's a guy that was at Oklahoma. He played at Oklahoma. He's going to wrap things up in Fayetteville. And I think this is a guy that could have a monster season. Obviously, Sam Pittman, that offense, they want to ground and pound, but they still want to open it up. And we saw what Treylon Burks did last season. Obviously, he went in the first round of the NFL draft. And I think someone's going to have to step up. And just looking at that roster, looking at the 2 deep, I don't think it's going to be Warren Thompson. I remember Warren Thompson coming out of high school, but I also remember Jaden Hazelwood, watching him at the opening finals, watching him at Miami's Paradise Camp. I think this is a dude, and he's got kind of a similar build to Mr. Burks.
So Andrew touches on a couple different things there, and I want to point to the fact that, Tommy, when Arkansas has such a strong running game, number 1 in the Power 5 as they did last year, that opens up so many opportunities as a wide receiver. And Burks was the beneficiary of that last year. And don't get me wrong, he is an incredible football player and maybe the best ever to play at that position. But you're going to get some one-on-one coverages. The safety is going to have to be pulled down in the box because of the prowess of KJ Jefferson, Rocket Sanders, Dominique Johnson, and AJ, just about taking advantage of that man-to-man and sometimes bump and run.
Yeah, and there's a couple wild cards there. Warren Thompson, I thought was a good possession receiver because of his size last year and made some timely catches. Ketron Jackson's a guy we've talked about a lot, being taking his game to the next level. A guy we talked about earlier this week, Malik Hornsby. Can he, being kind of part-time quarterback, part-time wide receiver, full-time football player, what kind of role can he play? Can he be a top 3 receiver for this football team? Can he be a top 3 pass catcher in either catches or yards? Because to me, he's going to get his yards because of his speed if you can get the ball in his hands. He's a guy that I would think Kendall Briles is dialing up a lot of screen action behind the line of scrimmage, get some of these other bigger guys to block. And if he can find a crease, it may not go for a touchdown, but you just need to move the chains a lot of times. 7 or 8 yards will do that. He can probably be a guy that can get you a lot of that.
I was talking about the matchup situations with so many defenses having to key in on Arkansas's running attack. Now they'll have to be keyed in on 2 quarterbacks on the field at any given point. Anything behind the line of scrimmage they need to be skeptical of. I think back to a play that stands out to me. We were talking about the kick 6 with Nick Saban yesterday, how he contemplated retirement. John Talty had that in his new book, 8L.com, that Nick Saban had his representatives reach out to ESPN, possibly moving on to the next phase of his life. And if you remember in that game, Alabama is up, I believe, 28-21. Nick Marshall takes a read option, and I can't think of the running back for Auburn. He fakes it to him. He rolls out, acts like he's going to run it. The quarterback for Bama comes up, and he throws it over the top. Arkansas has so many unique options. Go watch a Pulaski Academy football game and how they play. It's even more nutso with Anthony Lucas than it was when Kevin Kelly, which I didn't think was possible. But all the razzle-dazzle, all the stuff that they do. Now, do I think Arkansas is going to do that this year with Malik? Probably not. But you at least have an option, and the defenses have to be held back at a certain extent because they don't know what's going to happen when the ball's pitched, thrown behind the line of scrimmage to Malik Hornsby and what he can do with it. They can't immediately attack because he has the option and the ability to throw the football.
Yeah, and he's fast enough. That's what I was talking about. Hit a crease, and you'd love for it to go 60 or 70 to the house, but you just need to move the chains. Keep yourself in second and third and short yardage downs. So that's where I think he could be the guy to help move the box down the field and keep first downs going because you got a great kicker if you stall out in the red zone, and that's where this team's really going to prove its worth is can you drive it in running the football behind that offensive line. You mentioned the passing game. You look at Trey Knox, you look at the tight ends. Can they be enough of a weapon that a linebacker is going to have to occupy one of those guys and draw some attention there when you're in that personnel group where you still got the wide receivers to be responsible for. So tight end can be another key in all of this to just free up one less defender on your wide receivers.
We got a text in from Matt this morning. It says, how about the freshman wide receivers coming in? Sam Mbake coming in from the south. It's either Georgia or Florida. I always forget. Isaiah Satania from Fayetteville High School, and then Quincy McAdoo from Clarendon. Those are the guys to keep an eye on. I think Satania is probably the best bet to have and play the most significant minutes, at least early on as a freshman. I don't know how much that's going to be. It's very difficult to adjust as a true freshman, but Arkansas has missed track speed from their group in quite some time. Arkansas has to get that back at the wide receiver group where you can just run a go or run a jet sweep and the guy's just gone. You're talking about Malik's speed. I've got a chance not to see in person, but watching Isaiah in high school, and I know there's a different level from 7A football in Arkansas to SEC speed, but here's a guy that I think is going to excel not only at Arkansas football down the road, but track as well.
Who's the last really fast guy you had on offense? I mean, really fast.
I think you have to go back to Joe Adams. I don't buy the 20. Who's the 2013 Corliss Marshall? I don't buy that Corliss Marshall. Say it was Joe Adams. You got to go back 10 years.
I was going to say the handful of plays, and he
had 5 plays.
Well, but boy, they were 5 good ones when he got loose though with Corliss. You can't deny his speed, but he didn't have the impact you needed him to have. But point I was trying to make is you're right. It's Joe Adams. I was going to say Corliss Marshall, but that's been 7 years ago. That was Bielema era. I mean, so you hadn't had a burn. I mean, I'd love to see if is Hornsby one of those guys, fastest on the team, but does he break away, run away from everybody in the defense? We saw it once from Burks against Bama, but who's the guy that every defensive coordinator is worried about? Man, we get this guy loose, we're in big trouble. Arkansas, still don't think has that guy, that's just blazing fast, beat you with speed.
Yeah, and you need it in the Southeastern Conference. You need that one dude. It was Jamison Williams for Alabama last year. It was Devontae Smith for Alabama years ago. LSU had 2 guys in Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson that would just run by you. And then if they needed to, if you were man-to-man with them, you actually stayed with them, they would just go up and get the football. Arkansas had a guy that was outstanding in so many areas in Traylon Burks and had that breakaway speed at times. But I'm talking about a dude that could catch a pitch on a 2nd and 8 and go 92 yards to the house like he did against Auburn in 2011. That's Joe Adams. Yeah, I had one since that guy.
Hey, do you live or are you going to be traveling through central Arkansas in the near future? If you're going to be on I-30 near Benton, you need to go to the Wood Grill Buffet. They're open Thursdays through Sunday for lunch and dinner. 10:45 is when they open today. They'll be there till 8:30 the next few days. 30 meats on the buffet, 55 side items, 70 salad items, and 25 desserts. So everybody in the family can find something they want, and you can have all you want at the Wood Grill Buffet. It's absolutely comfort food at its finest, and that's what the Hamner family's been serving up for over 40 years. It's right behind the IHOP off the Congo Road exit. That's exit 118 in Benton off of I-30. So check it out, the Wood Grill Buffet in Benton. Find out more details on their menus online at woodgrillbuffetbenton.com.
When we come back, Tom Murphy will join us. We've got our Hog Updated too, and our Morning Rush daily question. Stay with us right here.
Y'all are talking about line tip and going to Eugene, Oregon. Who wants
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe can get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
PristineAuction.com is the most trusted sports memorabilia auction site. With an A+ BBB rating, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Just last week, an autographed Justin Herbert jersey sold for $110. Deals like these are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want, including Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and so much more. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item one when you use code HTL when you sign up. Again, PristineAuction.com, use code HTL and get $10 off your first item one. And that's not all. In addition to $10 off your first item, we are giving away a signed Traylon Burks Arkansas Razorbacks jersey to one lucky listener who signs up using this code HTL. Here's your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up on their website using our registration code HTL to be entered. Visit PristineAuction.com/register today.
Jelco Outdoors during the good old summertime. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Phil Hicks in Greenwood about Shelter's home insurance.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
The give to Cobbs, right up the middle. Cobbs at the 40, at the 30, Cobbs at the 20, Cobbs at the 10. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Watch the Morning Rush on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just search Hit That Line.
All right, Tom Murphy's going to join us in about 5 minutes or so. But before we get to Tom, I want to get into our Red River Dodge Morning Rush daily question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com. Apparently, it's both chili dog and hamburger day today. So if you have the choice, the selection, guys, are you going with a chili dog or a hamburger on this combined holiday?
Well, first of all, we never eat a hamburger. We eat a cheeseburger.
And that's the difference in this.
They have hamburger day so they can have cheeseburger day on another day, right?
Correct.
So,
that's what it would seem like to me. But you can't put cheese on this under the guidelines in this rule. So are you going, and you can't do cheese on the chili dog either. So are you going a plain hamburger?
No.
I going chili dog?
I bet cheese on the chili dog.
Because it's not chili cheese dog day, it's chili dog day.
But don't all chili dogs come with cheese on them?
I've never seen one without it.
Me either.
Onions may be optional, but cheese is not optional.
I love onions on the hot dog, on the chili dog.
I mean, when I grill burgers at the house, they all get cheese. If you don't like it, well,
tough.
Tough. Have a Quest bar,
Have a Quest bar.
Have y'all ever actually met somebody who prefers hamburgers
You
over
trust
cheeseburgers?
anyone? I mean, unless you're like on some, lactose intolerant diet, unless you have some kind of dietary reason.
But I mean,
don't come to me and say, I'd really not like cheese on my burger. Just get the hell out of here,
I've developed somewhat of a lactose intolerance problem over the last couple of years. But one slice of cheese never bothered me, and it's never going to bother me.
Yeah, speaking of that, I do have to say this. So when we were in Atlanta last week, Drew and I shared a room, both had 2 beds, and I'm walking to the bathroom because my alarm goes off at 5. I get an extra hour's sleep over there. Alarm goes off at 5. I'm walking to the bathroom. I don't know what he ate the night before, but I swear his sheets echoed, and just I thought the entire room just like a bomb went off because Drew just exploded the entire room. I don't know what cheese you ate last night.
He was giving you his opinion of
his
roommate.
That just exploded. But I can't. I mean, listen. When I eat a ton of cheese, I'm the same way. It just.
Thank you for sharing.
My grandma's
we're all better for knowing it now.
Yes, thank you.
Gassy or whatever.
Well,
what did she always say? She's like,
I do have a lot of people tell me you're full of it. So
is that right?
Yeah. So Matt says the cheese takes away from the taste of the meat. Matt, I don't know what kind of cheese you're putting on there, but Matt, baby, you got to have cheese on that burger. I mean, I just don't understand how you can have a burger without cheese on it. I mean, it's just that's standard operating procedure.
Austin in Ozark said his father-in-law hates cheese, so he eats hamburgers. My dad, I will say this, you're talking about lactose intolerance. My dad and stepmom are by no means lactose intolerant, but they have been on this cheese diet for the last, 4 or 5 months or whatever. They only eat like 1 pizza a month, and
so like
they
on a
order
no cheese diet. Yeah.
Correct, and they don't eat cheese on virtually anything.
So they're probably off all dairy then.
Yes, which is
no milk.
They
eat
do
eggs, probably no eggs either.
Almond milk.
Was that the Play-Doh?
I couldn't
Play-Doh
tell
diet.
you
I
what
don't
it
know one
is.
of them. So,
Could not tell you what
one
it
of them
is.
where you don't eat a lot of dairy.
And it's one of them where I don't think
not
you or I
keto.
want to
no,
do it at any
I'll
point.
just be fat. So No thanks. Can't have cheese on. Even if you're not eating the bread, I want cheese on the patty. If I'm going low carb. So,
okay. Charlie, do you eat cheese on your? Are you a cheeseburger guy, or are you one of those weird hamburger guys?
I'm straight cheeseburger, and it ain't even close. It's chili dog all day.
In fact, it's not even a cheeseburger, Charlie. It's a double cheeseburger, right, baby?
Man.
Oh man,
Charlie, your connection's bad, buddy. Sorry about that. So, I think most people would get a lot. So if it was a chili cheese dog or was a cheeseburger, what would you go? I would actually go chili cheese dog at that point. I grew up.
I would probably always go
foot long.
cheeseburger, but the quality of a hot dog and the quality of versus the hamburger patty, hamburger's going to be better. It's going to taste better.
I think if it's a foot-long chili cheese dog, I would probably know that. If it's just a regular one, I think that's different. But like you, I'm more of a double cheeseburger guy myself.
Yep. So I'll take the cheeseburger, but I guess it's hamburger day, so that sometime later in the year we can have cheeseburger day.
Mississippi Slug Burger. That's what Dustin in Mansfield is telling us to look up. It's no cheese and a Megan burger. And I've had hamburgers before, but if I had the option, one or the other, I would go cheese like most.
You've never went out of your way to order a hamburger.
Correct.
That's my point. I mean, if that's what someone's serving, you grin and bear it. But, I mean, no one goes out of their way to. I mean, when's the last time you went through the Golden Arches and just ordered a hamburger?
I don't think many people do that.
No.
Now, Ben in Little Rock says he'd have to go chili dog over the hamburger because he has to have cheese on his burger, so he can't do it without it.
I'm with you, Ben. So I'm with you.
All right, to the phones where Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, is waiting. Tom, let's go to practice that we got a chance to watch yesterday. Your early impressions of probably the only, I hope I'm wrong, but maybe the only practice we'll get to see between now and the first game.
Well, you never know. And how about the Tommy Kraft sighting yesterday in Fayetteville? It was a wonderful thing.
You knew it was a big event if I rolled in, baby.
There was boy, you could tell that we've been a little bit, I guess, starved of Razorback stuff because since Omaha, this is the first major get together, and boy, we were in full attendance yesterday. It felt like so, but my impressions were this is a rigorous, very very physical practice that Eric Musselman conducts. It's a lot of up and down. I love that Warriors drill where they go down, and if they're not if the middle guy isn't running, Musselman makes them do that thing again, and they ended up scoring 168 on one of the three that we saw segments of the Warriors drill where one guy runs down and makes a layup. That's 1 point, and then the two wing guys shoot threes, and to score 168 points in 3 minutes is, you got to have a great pace going, but. I thought one of Anthony Black's comments in the post-practice to us was that sometimes their defense looks so good that it makes their offense look a little off stride. We saw bits of that yesterday. Nick Smith is going to be a really good basketball player. He had some perfect right-on-time feeds for dunks, one to Jordan Walsh and one to one of the Mitchell brothers. And then he had a move. I don't know if you guys remember this one. He had a double hesitation move. I can't remember who was defending him, but probably 16 feet out, he kind of feigned like he was going to drive and backed off. And all the while he's moving forward. And then he feigned again. And so the defender is now thinking he's going to pass. And then he drove by him for a left-hand layup. So there's a lot of talent on this team. The battle for playing time is going to be really intense when they get in practice. I'm sure everybody's going to get some designated minutes in Europe, but there's some guys on this team who are really talented athletes who are going to have to deal with reserve minutes.
And I think that was Ricky Council, if I remember that correctly. And you were talking about Anthony, what he said about the defense in the press conference. Nick Smith had some really positive things to say about the Wichita State transfer and said if anyone tries to block him this year, they're going to get baptized, which means they're going to get dunked on pretty hard. This is a guy that is probably the most athletic guy on the team, as Justin Smith was 2 years ago. What were your impressions of Council yesterday, Tom?
Oh, man, you can just tell. Just a really good athlete. The guy is 6'6". And so you think to Eric Musselman's first team, and by the way, they got a lot better as the season went on. They did have a mid-conference struggle, but they got better. And this is guys he inherited, and they're playing Adriel Bailey at center at 6'6". And now you've got perimeter guys like Council, 6'6", Nick Smith, 6'5", Anthony Black, who is, what is he listed at, 6'7". So it's just going to be, they're going to have linked three-point shooting ability, and big guys. I mean, and shot blockers. So, wow, this is going to be the best assemblage of talent. And if they can push the right buttons, which they've shown they can do, a team that's built to make a run.
Tom, what were your observations of the coaching? And I know it's one practice, and we got to see about an hour's worth of drills and scrimmage, but it was Eric Musselman. His voice was the most prominent, as you would suspect. Anthony Ruda and Gus Archibald seemed to be working the most with the teams, and a lot of supporting voices around the core. What was your observations on the way these guys were coached yesterday from what we got to see?
It's constant. It's nonstop, and you're hearing it like Ronnie Brewer over on the side, and all the rest of the auxiliary dudes are calling out stuff, and it's full participation. It's a thing to behold. The pace at which they play, the physicality they play with. So when they get in big conference games, getting pushed and bumped and all that's not a big deal. I mean, they're used to it, and the coaches are very involved. I mean, they were doing drills where after every stoppage of play, both teams met for a few seconds, and the coaches would run in and call whatever the next play is, defensive set or offense, and must let them coach. Yeah. And it's just a thing to behold. Like and of course the air conditioning was off because they're getting ready to go to Europe, and these gyms are not going to be air conditioned. So there was a little bit of an element of, it was warm, it was high intensity. This is practice 3, y'all. It shows you what an upper level D1 program that carries a lot of traits of an NBA franchise looks like.
Yeah. One of the other things I noted, anytime there was, communication from the head coach, he brought the team just came together, circled up, locked arms. Mm-hmm. He was in the middle. There was a lot of eye contact. There wasn't a lot of singling out. And I don't, we were there for one practice. I assume it's this way every time, but I thought it was interesting how they purposefully communicate when he wants to deliver a message to the team. There was rarely, and there were a few instances of individual coaching sessions, if you will, from Musselman, but for the most part, when he had a message to deliver, they circled up, he gave his message, practice continued.
Man, these are all, it's like body language points, and the way you communicate with people. It's all being done in a way that's it's very modern. Players don't feel like a few times. I won't call out any names. He would say, "Why did you not run on that play? Is there a reason why?" One of the Mitchell brothers. Why were you not running on that drill? We've got to run, and so he asks them. It's not a berating. It's not foul languagey stuff. I mean, although I think some of that happens, but it's just it's a positive way. And then when you see a guy get gotten onto some, then another coach will usually circle back around and tell him this is why it happened. And I saw Ronnie Brewer do that. Yeah. One time, the kid Barry Dunning, why weren't you fronting the post? Yep. We were going to front the post on this, and he asked Barry why, and Barry gave an explanation. He says, "Well, we're going to front the post," and it's not super harsh deal. And so I don't know. I got a very positive feeling out of the way everything was handled.
Yeah. Backcourt, would you say? I think Nick Smith's, probably the most likely on the roster to be a starter. Would you say Anthony Black's number 2, or how do you think if you had to give an early guess to who might comprise those first 5 in January? Even who would be your guesses? And I'll just go ahead and give you Nick Smith because I think we'd all put him on our list.
Yeah, he's a special talent. And when you think about all the talent, the ratings of these guys, there's a reason why you're a 5-star basketball player. Your agility, your athleticism, your shot, all that kind of stuff. And so you can see Jordan Walsh's athleticism as a he's listed at 6'7", 200-pounder. You see that. He's got a chance to start. One of the Mitchell brothers. They're going to be able to do their lineup. They can play really big if both Mitchell boys are on the court and with Kamani at the same time, and they can play really small. I mean, Musselman pointed out yesterday, Devo Davis played some power forward for them in their tournament run a couple years ago. Power forward, and he's 6'4". So they're going to really be able to do matchup lineups. I think Black would have a really good chance. I think he's got a ways to go defensively, but man, what a nice-looking athlete. Here's a curveball in your question about who's going to start. Muss announced this yesterday. If you have been, if there's any reason you've been disciplined, you will not be starting. And if you've been asked to leave practice, you probably won't be starting for a few games. So if there's a guy who we really think is going to start, and then he's not a starter in the first game in Italy or Spain, then he might have been asked to leave practice during this time.
One of the things I noticed yesterday, Tom, watching Nick Smith Jr. is he did not miss a three-point attempt that I watched. That's not to say during the practice he did not miss an attempt the entire time, but shooting is something that really was hurting this team last year, but they still managed to get around it. Eric touched on that in the post-game press conference. Nick Smith Jr., Anthony Black, Joseph Pinion. How do you think this team has a much better outlook when it comes to shooting the three ball this year?
Yeah, they do. And before, this sounds like everything they do is just wonderful and great. They're going to win. They're going to go to the Final Four. They do have some things to overcome, and that was one of them. I looked up. I think they ranked 320 out of 350 teams in three-point shooting, and Muss pointed out how rare it was that you're in the Final Eight, and that's what your three-point shooting looked like. So they are determined to be a better three-point shooting team and a better shot-blocking team. They think they've added the pieces to do that. And, yes, I saw Nick Smith Jr. miss a three or two or a few. I mean, they jack up so many on that Warriors drill that, you can't be 1,000%. But even some guys who are freshmen like Pinion and Ford, saw them making three-pointers. So I've got to think that they're going to be pushing more up to the 33, 34% mark on three-point shooting this year.
When you look at Nick individually, no one's had this much hype stepping foot on campus overall since Mitch Mustain. In basketball, it's been coreless. His coach, Johnny Rice, came on with us a couple months back and said Nick is the perfect person to handle that pressure. He mentioned at some point they're going to hit a wall as freshmen and that Devo's going to be a part. How important is Devontae Davis with Nick and Eric Musselman touching on his presence and just his friendship he has with what's assumed to be your best player?
Yeah, that's a great point, and it's a wonderful thing that Devo Davis can do that. He's over there coaching, and Muss said yesterday that they stopped practice one day. They were doing some drill, and Devo Davis was over on the sideline coaching up the drill. And Muss stopped practice and said, "Why is he doing that?" And he got a bunch of answers from the players. He says the reason why is because he's been doing Elite Eight. He knows what it takes to get there, and the intensity and attention to the detail on the drill. And so he's pointing out to the team, listen to your teammate. This guy's been through it. Nick Smith I saw him showing leadership in the huddles yesterday. In addition to great ball handling skills and just being a guy who listens. I mean, Muss called him out for something yesterday. I think it was not defending in the backcourt. He had gone back to half court. So why are you not up here? We're defending all the way. So leaders, freshmen who come in with great hype, who are great listeners and great leaders, and great work ethic, go a long way. And Muss pointed out that Moses Moody, as a freshman, was never late for anything that he went to. Showed up early, put in the time, and now he's an NBA first-round pick. So I think they feel like Nick Smith is going to follow in that mode.
Yeah. Tom, we got a couple of minutes left. I want to ask you some football questions because it looks like practice will start a week from tomorrow. What are some of the early things? I know they'll be in helmets and shorts, but other than roll call, what are the important things the first few days of Sam Pittman's camp that begins looking like next Friday?
Right. Well, to me, they look like they were in really nice form at the end of spring, and they brought in so many new guys. So it's how quickly can the guys who haven't been on campus, a couple receivers, a couple O-linemen, the guys who haven't been through it, how well do they retain in what they've been able to learn, and how quickly can they kind of get back up into gear on not just the rudimentary parts of, you want to get through, how we practice, the tempo we practice, and let's refine our schemes. Let's refine our checks. And if they can get through, and say in the first practice in pads, they're going at a really good clip, then they could be ahead of the game.
Yeah. What can you be really good at? To me, I think that they've got to be really good at running the ball with the running backs. Can you get first downs there until you really prove and develop that you can move the sticks through the passing game consistently? So I want to see how these running backs, Tom, perform early in the camp. And I know until you get to a point where you're scrimmaging, that's hard to really read. But I think they're going to have to rely on those running backs more than we might think early in this season. Yeah, fully agreed. And here's the thing. Their rushing last year, y'all, it snuck up on me. I mean, you know that you knew they were good. You know that they have to get a little bit better on some short, third and short, fourth and short conversions. But with KJ, I mean, they led the Power 5 teams in rushing last year. And, the Texas game and a couple of others where they really blew it out, I think Ole Miss rushing, that helped. But still, when you average what they did, 220-something, then you're a really good run team. Yeah. And if they can lean on that, make teams honor that, then that's just going to help KJ have a little bit better windows, a little bit more man coverage to work the pass game. Yeah, I mean, I know that passing's flashy and fun, but man, the way they ran the ball against Penn State is what breaks another team's will. And if they could pick up kind of where they left off, that's a big if. They're going to win some football games, moving the chains and scoring touchdowns, running the football. No doubt about it, and they can just rotate. I mean, Dominic was a great – the way he came on last year was great. Rocket Sanders catching the ball, great out of the backfield. A.J. Green, great speed. I mean, Dubinion had a really nice spring. They've got options at tailback. All right, Tom, we'll talk a lot of football next week. We'll talk to you on Tuesday when you join us next. Outstanding. Talk to y'all, man. All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. He's with us twice a week, and we're a week out from fall camp or fall practice or August camp, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be 109 degrees, but do you want to relabel it right here, right now? No one's going to probably follow my lead, but it just needs to be preseason camp. It's too many words. It doesn't flow off the tongue like fall camp, but there's nothing fall about even the reprieve we'll get this weekend. It's going to heat up next week and be brutal out there. It did time out for Peacemaker this weekend, looking at the weather. I was debating if I'm going to wear jeans or not tomorrow night and Saturday. Might end up doing that. I wasn't planning on doing it with it being like 100 or 90, but since it's going to get down in like the 80s and 70s, I think I can get away with it. Might want to wear an umbrella or a rain suit, which you might want to take along with you as well. But boy, do we need the rain. We sure wouldn't complain about that. All right, we've got your hog update on the way. A lot more to get to here before we're done this morning. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort, the place where you can expand and learn more about fly fishing. Also, learn the sport and the joy of fly fishing. They've recently added several fly fishing guides to their roster of expert guides that they have. And listen, if you like to use a spin casting rod and you like to work with live bait, that's a fun way to do it. It's a great way to take the kids and the grandkids. But if you want to learn something new and maybe challenge yourself a little bit, they got some great guides at Gaston's that will spend time with you off the water, teaching you more, and then take you out on the White River and show you what fly fishing and the fun of that's all about. So they've added several more fly fishing guides to the roster. So if that sounds like fun to you, give them a call at 870-431-5202 and book your lodging. You can book meal reservations and a fly fishing guide at Gaston's White River Resort. All the details online at gastons.com. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Laura needs to take it and get a tune-up, it sounds like, then.
Well, I'm all for that. I don't know what that includes, but I'm for it.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at the Burton Pools and Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Get the pool your family has been begging for and save up to $7,000. Plus, get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers. 6 models to choose from while supplies last. At Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Call, come by, or visit burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need additional construction equipment to continue growing? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website at WTEquip.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever. Take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith. Perform any service your vehicle will ever need and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work. No finding a sitter. No sitting in a waiting room. No wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pickup and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYSauto.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Whew, it's hotter than car lot asphalt. That can mean only one thing. It's time for the Rath Auto Resources Summer Sales Drive. Every summer, we set our goals to sell more cars than the year before and break every sales record. That means huge savings for you on a great selection of Rath Road-ready premium pre-owned vehicles, each one hand-picked and reconditioned in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't let the lot fool you. When they're moving this fast, most of the inventory never makes it to the lot or the internet. No worries. Just call, click, or come by and let one of our friendly non-commissioned solution specialists help you find the perfect vehicle and work it all out so the price and payment fits your budget. It couldn't be simpler, and the summer sales drive makes it the perfect time to save. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half-off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, start driving better today and save big during the summer sales drive. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey. Oh,
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas Razorbacks in our championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Let's go and get into our Hog Update. We got a chance to watch practice yesterday, and shout out to the Morning Rush listener that apparently mistook what I said and somehow, some way swindled himself into the practice facility.
He heard part of what you said.
He heard part of what I said. What's it called? Selective hearing?
Mm-hmm.
And
you learn that as a married man to have selective hearing.
Yeah, and I mentioned this in hour one. Mike Kaywood, who's the communications director for men's basketball, comes over to me. We're chatting a little bit, and he starts smiling at me. I was like, what? It's like, you see that guy over there? I was like, yeah. It's like, he's a Morning Rush listener. And apparently you told him that the practice was open today. And I said, Mike, that's not what I said.
Mike, that's exactly what he said
that's
yesterday.
Not
he
what I
invited
said.
everybody to come.
That's not what I said. But it was
offered to buy him CJs when it's over.
It was fun. So, Mike, you are a good person for allowing that Morning Rush listener to come in and partake in a little bit of practice.
The last time that happened.
Yeah, I don't expect that to happen again. But we did get a chance to see practice. We played some clips so far this morning. We've got some I want to play one clip coming up of Eric Musselman talking about Devo Davis, but this is a little more lighthearted from Trevin Brazil. I asked him, hey, what's the difference between your year at Mizzou to your kind of summer at Arkansas? Here's what he responded with.
We get less water breaks. I would say that's probably the main thing.
You don't get that.
But we get water. We get well hydrated. But I would say
backtrack.
It's a little more. I won't say it's more intense, but I feel like there's a lot more engagement within the practice. We have 8, 9 GAs, so them bringing energy. We got managers bringing energy, all the coaches bringing energy, players bringing every day. So it's just a different vibe over here.
I mean, you were at the press conference. That was probably I would say the funniest part of that press conference.
He looked like Jalen Catalon backpedaling. As soon as
quick.
Anthony Black looked over. No. But
you saw the sign above the water, right? You did see that, right?
I didn't make note of it.
Drew, help me. It said like desolate way. It said something like it had the skull and the crossbones, which above it, which is like unless you can't breathe, don't come over here and get a triple water. I think back to the clip and remember the Titans when one of the players asked Coach Boone, hey, Coach, can we get a water break? And he just goes off, water's for the weak. Are you weak, son? He just starts ripping him a new one. But
in the hour or so of scrimmage we watched yesterday, how much water break did you see? I didn't. I mean,
I want to say that that's one of those like
very subtle.
Yeah, if he did, he was like, Muss is looking this way, gotta run over and get it, and run right back.
But in today's time, if you need something to drink, you're going to get it, particularly in football. But here's what stood out to me, and he touched on that, is the support and the all the GAs. What do you bet there was as far as coaches and support staff and people? 2 for every one player. I bet it was some ratio like that yesterday between coaching staff, GAs, just the people that were obviously team personnel that were right on the edge of the court, encouraging, coaching, yelling, pushing. I bet there was 2 of them for every 1 player.
Yeah, you think about it. So the assistant coaches are now Anthony Ruda, who was promoted. You've got Gus Arginal, and then help me out with the last and Keith Smart. And then the other guys, Michael Musselman, Ronnie Brewer, you mentioned the GAs, and then managers on top of all that. So there is a ton of staff. It's always funny to watch Arkansas on road trips or in Bud Walton Arena and how many staff members are compiled in that one little spotter section. But yeah, the practices is fun. Thank you to the Razorback basketball staff for allowing us to go because we did enjoy our time there yesterday. All right, moving on to more Hog updates. You've got more. I thought this was going to happen. Cam Little has been added to the Luke Rosa Award watch list, given it the best kicker in all of college football. Reed Bauer has been added to the Ray guy. A little more surprised at that, to the best punter in all of college football. I'll say this. From year one of Scott Fountain to where they are now, I think a whole lot more Razorback fans like him than where it's happened. It just took time. Richard was telling us, Clay was telling us, he's got to recruit. He's got to get his guys in. Now he has what could be potentially an all-SEC kicker in Cam Little. Reed Bauer's a part of this. So special teams is a lot further along than it was in year one under Scott Fountain, as all other aspects of this team are. Did see this last night, and this is kind of some bittersweet news for me. According to Jeff Passan of ESPN.com, Andrew Benintendi has been traded to the Yanks for, Drew, was it 3 minor leaguers? I think that's what it was, if I remember reading that. So it looks like, even though the report initially said he's not going to go because he's not vaccinated, but now it looks like after they got, I think, beat pretty good by the Mets last night, if I remember that correctly.
Lost both games of a 2-game set.
The Subway Series. That's a pretty
series if it's 2 games.
You tell me. I don't. Is it a? What would you call that?
Well, they split up the series. It's a 4-game series that they do 2 at Citi Field and 2
in New
Yankee
York.
Stadium.
Okay.
They'll do the 2 at Yankee Stadium, I believe, in August.
That World Series.
You see
so it's not a. I mean, it's a 2-day double. I mean, whatever you want to call it. It's not.
It's a 4-game series stretched out over 2 months. You see the Angels and Dodgers do it, the Orioles and the Nationals.
I get that, but the scheduling part, but series are Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
They
4-game series.
It's
Thursday,
a 4-game series over the course of 2 months.
Right. Well,
I mean, that's just the only baseball way that I can explain it.
I get it.
Help me on this. The World Series between those two is in what, 2000?
There's been 2 different Subway Series. I don't remember the year, but there's been 2 different ones.
Early 2000? Okay. It's somewhere around that timeline or whatever. All right, last thing here in your Hog update. Traylon Burks apparently has looked better in 7-on-7. This is from Ben Arthur of the Tennessean, that he looked great in day one of Titans training camp, whether it's individuals, had a couple nice catches, and was active and slimmer in team drills as well. Now, we got to remember, doing sports talk radio inside of this state where there's no pro affiliation whatsoever outside of a couple minor league teams is a heck of a lot different than doing it in a city that hosts an NFL team. It's just a different world out there, different criticisms. Traylon got a bunch of it leading up to this point. It's nice to see some positives actually coming out of Nashville now, considering he's got a heap load of crap piled on him the last couple months, it seems like.
Just a ton of expectations. He's supposed to be the next coming to Brown. The trade, you trade him away and then you draft Traylon almost immediately after the announcement of that trade. So, there's just a lot of expectations on his shoulders and what he's supposed to be and mean for this team. So then you come out and you got the asthma issue, which really wasn't. I don't remember that ever being discussed or talked or a problem at that was kept very much under wraps if it even was an issue at Arkansas, and I'm assuming that it was. So he picked a bad first day to have an issue because he got portrayed as what? Out of shape, not ready to go for practice physically, which I don't think was true at all with what was going on him the first day of that mini camp.
And that's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, we're going to get into Richard Davenport and recruiting when we come back in just a little bit. Your calls and texts as well at 877-377-6963.
All right, we got some news we want to share with the audience, too. Some things coming up and some additions to the show and to the radio station. How about we share that at the top of the 8 o'clock hour.
Okay.
There's your tease.
Yeah, there's your tease. We'll do that coming up. And it's actually, this isn't one of those things where it's like, oh, it's not that big. This is actually kind of a big deal.
Might want to hang around for this
Might
one.
want to hang around for this one. All right, hour number 3, Recruiting Thursday coming up. A big announcement, plus Richard Davenport, and a Ruskin cameo that you want to hear. All that in hour 3.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12.3-inch touchscreen display, and of course, the panoramic moonroof. If I could only gaze through it one more time.
Jerry!
What?
Stop talking about your Highlander and help me with the raft.
Frank seems more agitated than normal lately. Could it possibly be because he too misses my Toyota Highlander?
No, Jerry, it's not because I miss your Highlander. And stop acting like I can't hear you.
Yes, that must be it. Comparing his sad raft to my sleek-looking Highlander has finally broken him.
Just stop.
Experience the unforgettable 2022 Toyota Highlander for yourself. Visit your local dealer or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at toyota.com for feature availability.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors, or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need additional construction equipment to continue growing? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website at WTEquip.com.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you looking for a career that is in demand and will provide you and your family the living you all deserve? Are you willing to put in the time to learn that profession? If the answer is yes, you need to contact United Welding Institute today. Welders are in demand in-state and across the country for many different types of welding. United Welding Institute has recently placed students from the River Valley with very high-paying employers, and they want to do the same for you. Call today and make an appointment for your future. 479-968-3390. That's 479-968-3390 for United Welding Institute in Pottsville, and tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas.
The Golf Nut would like to welcome the newest member, Matt Brooks, to the Golf Nut team. Matt is a former college golfer with over 10 years of experience in the golf industry. Matt is available for lessons, so call the shop today to set in an appointment. The Golf Nut has a large selection of shoes in stock with brands like FootJoy, Adidas, Echo, Skechers, and Under Armour. As always, check Facebook for daily specials. The Golf Nut, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Arkansas Valley Electric members living in Knoxville and Augsburg and surrounding areas, you can now sign up. Wave Rural Connect Internet is available for you. Fast fiber internet, TV, and even phone service. Internet starting at $49.95 a month, TV at $43.99, and phone for $29.95. Sign up now at signup.waveruralconnect.com or 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer opens like every other seltzer, pours like every other seltzer, but it's not like every other seltzer. USDA certified organic, no added sugar, and low cal, so you've never seen another seltzer quite like it. And with new refreshing flavors like black cherry and watermelon strawberry, you've never tasted one like it either. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, as real as it tastes. Enjoy responsibly, not a low-calorie food. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports. Keep it the good times rolling.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, occasional showers and thunderstorms, especially through the early part of the day. Our high this afternoon will be in the low to mid-90s. Occasional showers and storms capable of producing some heavy rain, especially across the north. An overnight low will drop into the low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Hobbs breaks it to the outside, and he could go. The 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown Cedric Cobb.
What a left arm, stiff arm. And then the speed was amazing. Whew.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Davis the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So usually in about a minute or so, Richard Davenport joins us. He's going to join us in about 10 minutes because we do have a special announcement that we want to get to. And this is not, you know how sometimes you hear on sports radio or television or any medium that you consume, and they say this is a special announcement. It ends up being a load of crap. It sucks. It doesn't live up to the hype. This actually, if it doesn't live up to the hype, you can blame Tommy because he's hyped this up. Or you can blame the guy that we're about to talk about because he's not delivering, which I think he's going to, I hope, for his sake. But we'll tell you in just a sec.
I'm not sure how I would grade that setup right there, but
it's a great setup.
Great wouldn't be the word I'd use. Hey, save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at Burton Pools and Spas during the inventory reduction sale. It's underway right now. You can save up to $7,000 on fiberglass in-ground pools. I was by the Springdale store yesterday. You see it when you're driving by there on 49. A huge selection of these that you can pick from. In fact, 6 different ones to choose from. And right now, not only do you save the $7,000, plus you get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers as well. So you can choose which upgrade you want, 6 models to choose from, and save the money during the inventory reduction sale. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, they are your source for backyard fun.
So real quick before we do this, Andrew Hutchinson just texted me, and he said his 2-year-old, when you did the Gastons read before you finished it, I'm not kidding, he texted me this, he said, my 2-year-old just said every time during Tommy's usual on pause. Now, if that isn't indoctrinating the youth the right way, I don't know what is.
You wouldn't be because you hear it when we're that of all the things we do, some more meaningful than others. I hear that more about fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, parent and child in the car.
Oh, yeah.
And they plan their morning around trying to guess how long the pause will be.
Yeah, one of my friends and his daughters, he the first time I met him, Claude's telling me, you know what, the only reason we started listening to this show is to hear the Gastons read, and him and Madison, his daughter, would be in the car at exactly 7:37 or 7:38, whatever it is, to hear that said read. All right,
like
so
the benchmark of the morning.
Yes.
So hopefully we can provide a little more entertainment and a little more information than just a intentional pause to highlight your morning.
Yes, this will be that. Now, I asked you in the break, did you watch Pokemon at any point with your kids?
Taylor, my oldest, who's now married and working her way off the payroll.
Working her. She's married. What do you mean she's working her way off?
She's pretty well getting there now. But yeah, she was in. I don't remember either of my younger ones in Pokemon stuff that I remember.
Okay.
There were cards, if I remember. There was a show.
Yes, you're 2 for 2.
It was about as irritating and annoying a creative thought as I've seen.
Yeah. So during the breaks, they would put out
the Pokemon Go game too, where you have the phone and that was pretty popular about
a couple years ago.
My wife even got into that.
Did she really?
Like people were walking off the edges of cliffs looking for these Pokemon Go's. I mean, what are you people doing?
Well, during the break, Tommy, they would have this game that would say, "Who's that Pokemon?"
Who's that Pokemon?
And it would have a picture and a question mark of someone that you couldn't necessarily tell what it is. It's like the outline figure of a certain Pokemon or whatever. So we put out.
Was this like a Blue's Clue?
Yes, kind of. So it wasn't. If you watch the show, it wasn't that hard for the most part to tell. And if you listen to sports or watch sports in this state, it's not that hard to go to our social media pages and determine who's that Pokemon that we're going to hire at this point. So all from that.
We're going to have to work on your setup ability and your analogy. That is not exactly the analogy I would.
What analogy do you want?
Well, I think you'll reflect back on this setup and you'll say this probably deserved maybe something a little different than a Pokemon from what I'm getting ready to share with our audience, our dearest and nearest.
He's Mew. You don't know what Mew is. Mew is the most powerful
and neither
Pokemon.
Does anyone listening.
He's also he'd be more of a Pikachu.
He's
Everybody
a Pikachu.
loves Pikachu.
God,
Everybody loves
Pikachu.
this guy. Everybody loves Pikachu.
Oh.
And he's gonna give us a good lesson when he joins because about how terrible this setup is.
Maybe I need to announce y'all's retirement.
Who's that Pokemon?
Did you already hit send on that? We're getting text. So.
Who's that Pokemon?
You guys cannot follow instructions at all. Terrible. F-. Okay. Business, you're either moving forward or moving backwards. You're never standing still, right? There's always change, always evolving. Let me break out another cliche for you besides a Pokemon reference that none of us over the age of about 38 understand. So radio's always changing. The landscape's changing. We're always trying to find new and better ways to entertain and inform you every morning. And at halftime, and in the afternoons, and on the weekends, and really any time you're listening to the radio, we want you to listen more often. That's why we're proud to announce this morning that beginning next week, Arkansas radio legend Chuck Barrett is joining the ESPN Arkansas team in a full-time role. He's going to be with us on the Morning Rush every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. He's going to be making weekly stops on halftime and also on Ruskin and Zach, and we could not be happier to welcome Chuck to our team. This has been a conversation Chuck and I have had for several years, and the time was just right. He's ready to get back on the air on a daily basis, and he's going to join us tomorrow for a few minutes, and then Monday he's going to be with us here in the studio, and we're looking forward to evolving and moving to the next station here. Clay's staying around. He'll be on with us some. Clay's going to be on more with halftime moving forward. You're going to hear some new things as we head into football season. And right now could not be a better time in the calendar year as we're heading into another great football season to make this happen for you, the listener. Because it's always about you guys out there, you gals out there. So that's our goal here, and that's what our team works hard on, is to give you better content, better entertainment, better information, and couldn't be happier to welcome Chuck Barrett, radio legend in our state, to our team full-time beginning next week.
There's more news than that.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Oh, okay. I was waiting on that.
Am I good to talk now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to add anything
As
to it?
long as it's not about Pokemon, you can say what you want.
Well, when you're thrust in, hey,
when
we
Chuck
do it,
finds out you compared him to a Pokemon,
a really
it may
good
be your last
a really
show.
good Pokemon.
A really good one.
A really
I mean,
good Pokemon.
It may
I mean,
be-
everybody likes. Everyone
be,
likes Pikachu.
You may
Come
be
on.
out of here. So maybe the end of the line for you when
What? Your voice cracked. You've done
maybe
that to me
the end
before.
of the line. So
Listen, if you're gonna dish it out, you got to take it too.
I'm just not sure what noise you just made.
The noise you just made.
All right.
What do you want me to do now?
Host the show, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, apparently I got thrust into a situation. Hey, are we doing this now? Let me try and concoct something in 5 minutes. Okay, what do you want me to do now?
I thought it
you
was
want
a
to
good
have Richard?
idea. Don't worry, Ty. I liked it.
I mean, a little heads up next time would help on that. Just a little. That's why the rundown is there the night before. All right, we'll talk with Richard coming up in just a bit. Yes, we are excited to have Chuck Barrett on. I can't wait to have him on. Chuck's been very, very helpful since I've gotten into this industry. We've had long conversations about sports radio. We've gone golfing once or twice, and I am thrilled because I've just keep getting text about how excited my friends are. Chuck's one of those guys that can not only touch an audience, kind of the audience, more of our audience, which is, I would say, what's our 25 to 54, 25, whatever, 60, whatever. But he touches a lot of my friends, too, which they all love him. Chuck's been kind enough to introduce himself to a few of my friends, and it's like they're like schoolgirls, Tommy. They're like sitting there and they can't say anything. It's the weirdest thing ever. Chuck's just like a nice, hey guys, how you doing? Shakes everyone's hand, and they're sitting there like shaking, and they can't get words out. It's one of the funniest interactions that we have every single time. So really appreciate Chuck becoming a part of our team. Cannot wait for that. All right, let's welcome in Richard Davenport this morning, talk a little recruiting. Richard, we were talking about Scott Fountain a little bit in our Hog Update. You got Reed Bauer now, who's a part of and I just forgot the name of the punter, Ray Guy Award, and then Lou Groza for Cam Little. And I know special teams was heavily criticized in the Chad Morris era and initial year one under Sam Pittman. Took a much bigger step in year two. I mean, how big has special teams recruiting been for this staff so far, and how much do you think it's going to continue with Scott Fountain on staff?
Be honest with you, I haven't seen it like this since Scott Fountain's got on campus. I mean, matter of fact, they have the number 6 kicker in the country in the 24 class, Kyle Limmerman, visiting on Saturday. You just see so many guys that are nationally ranked, like top 5 or top 10, visiting Arkansas, and oftentimes they're able to get these guys to walk on, and you have seen them obviously extend scholarships to kickers too. They put a premium on the special teams, and I think that's a great thing, because at Arkansas you may not be able to out-talent everybody, but if you can win, special teams, that gives you an extra edge to maybe winning that game against a team that maybe have a little bit more talent than you. But he relates well with the kids. He communicates with them on a consistent basis, and he makes them feel important. And a lot of times kickers kind of feel like that they're an afterthought, and that's not the case with Coach Fountain.
I mean, you think back to the Mississippi State and LSU games where the Mississippi State kicker, missed 3 field goals, Tommy, in that game, and then LSU where he kicks a game winner in overtime. Those are some of the plays that maybe in years past Arkansas wouldn't have made, but they did last year. And remind me, Richard, who is the Australian punter that they just brought in?
Max Fletcher. I was going to mention him, because that's another kid. I mean, from what I understand, he can absolutely boom it. So it's going to be interesting to see who runs out there as the punter in the first game. Obviously, Bauer's done an excellent job, but he's got some competition with Max.
And I've always thought it's not just an original thought. The more you improve on special teams, the better your coverage teams are. That just Richard, it just points to your overall team depth. And the more you can look out there and not see frontline starters, guys on your the top line on your 2 deep out there, that means your football team's in a better state.
Absolutely. Competition, that's something that maybe you haven't seen at Arkansas on a consistent basis in quite some time, and to even have it on special teams, I mean, that's truly an impressive feat, because again, a lot of guys are usually, if they see a guy having success at a team, whether kicker, punter, or whatever, usually those prospects at those particular 2 kicking positions will kind of say, well, that guy seems to have it locked in. I'll go elsewhere. But Scott Fountain's able to get guys to still come visit and still commit and be Razorbacks, even though one of the best kickers in the country is on campus right now.
We were talking about practice starting at the end of next week, and with all the incoming freshmen, and I know we saw some of them in the spring, who is 1 or 2 you are expecting to read about, to write about, to hear about coming out of these first few practices that's going to turn some heads? So who's some of the inbound players and the true freshmen that you think will, maybe make a name for themselves a little bit in August?
2 guys that I heard a lot of during the summer is Jordan Crook, both 2 linebackers. I've heard some others, and I'll get to them. But Jordan Crook, linebacker, and Manny Powell, another linebacker, obviously from Fayetteville. Jordan Crook from Duncanville, Texas. Heard some really good things about both of them. I think that they'll see the field this year. How much? I mean, I don't know. I think they may be able to spot Bumper and Drew a little bit, give them a little bit more depth. But I think you'll definitely see them on special teams probably, and then in spot duty at linebacker. I tell you, Marion Harris, even though he's a freshman offensive lineman, very few times do I ever, and I don't think I think I've said this many times, you just don't count on a freshman on the offensive line to contribute. I think he could contribute this year. Especially, I could see him being in some short yardage situations, maybe being in the backfield. No one's told me this, but at Georgia, they put some big guys in the backfield on goal line situations or short yardage situations. I could see him lining up in the backfield and just being the lead blocker. And at he came in around 370 or so. From what I understand, he's at 340 now, which is obviously he's moving much better. So I'd definitely keep an eye on him as a guy that may not obviously start, but he could definitely see some action this year.
And if anyone watched a Maumelle football game, and there were a few guys that physically stood out on their roster, but if you watch that offensive line, Richard, he just mauled people in Maumelle's season a year ago.
Well, he's like some of those guys you see at Georgia or Alabama that are so big that he can just lean on you. He doesn't, I mean, obviously, and then you throw in his natural strength and his athletic ability. Hey, man, by the second quarter, you're beat. Can you imagine coming, in the second half, and especially in the fourth quarter? He is such a massive human being, and then you throw in he's such a great kid too. You just pull for him.
Yeah, and you'd love to have a sneak peek in practice or something when they go, some of these line drills and really go after you. Him and Dalton Wagner in a matchup. That'd be a veteran guy that's 24 years old going up against a fresh. That would be a very good measuring stick for where his game is at coming in as a true freshman. If he could really compete in those kind of mano-a-mano drills with a guy like Wagner.
I think he can, and I think we'll see him. I could be wrong, but I've been hearing so many good things about him, and for him to go, I mean, for a big guy to go from 370 to about 340, in a short period of time, it says something about him, because a lot of times big guys they struggle with their weight, but to lose 30 pounds by the time he reported in January to now, it says that he's doing all the things that necessary to become better, and one of them is probably altering your diet a little bit, and that's tough for big guys.
Tough for guys like me and you too. Hey,
oh man.
Speaking of young players and freshmen, we got a chance to watch basketball practice. One of the rare opportunities we're invited into the practice facility to see the team as they're getting ready to go to Europe and play in Spain and Italy in a 10-day tour over there and some preseason work. Everything that Nick Smith has been built up to be, hyped up to be. And I know it's one practice and an hour's worth of watching, but Richard, I got to tell you, he sure looked like he fit in pretty well yesterday.
Yeah, he's just very smooth. It looks easy to him.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're watching, it just looks easy when he's playing. And there's very few people, guys that you say that about. I've seen a few, and I go, it's almost like everybody else is playing in slow motion, and he's playing, just in a different level as far as his athleticism, and also he just understands the game very well too, and that accelerates his athleticism too. He knows when to go to the basket. He knows when to pull up. He knows to dish. His basketball IQ is very, very good. And he's so dedicated to the game, and he's such a competitor.
Yeah, I think this could be an interesting team with a good mix of those young freshman players, led by Nick, and then the veteran players. And you don't have a lot of returning players with just two, but I think it's going to be a neat mix, and it'll be interesting to see who kind of makes that first cut of 10, and then come January, who's been that 8 or so player rotation. I know you didn't get to make it up yesterday, but I know you watched the videos and listen to us. What stood out to you about yesterday's sneak peek behind the curtain at Razorback basketball?
Well, I think. Did you get? I mean, with Muss, do you get the feeling that he's pretty giddy? He's just like, he's not going to come out and say it.
He knows they're pretty good. He knows they're pretty good. Richard.
And I just seeing the press conference with him. I was just like, okay, and I think we've known all along that this team has a chance to be pretty special. But all the pieces are there, and it'd be interesting if he goes beyond the 7 or 8. History says he won't, but it'd be interesting to see if he does, because he has so many different pieces that can contribute. And obviously, at crunch time, I think that probably the last 10, 15 minutes, you're probably going to see the same guys on the floor pretty much. But I think maybe in the first half of a lot of games, you may see a little bit more of a rotation. Could be wrong.
I think you're right. I think you'll see 10 players play particularly early in the year, and you may see 8 at a time come conference, but it may be a different kind of set of 8 each and every night. Richard, good stuff. We'll pick it up next Thursday with you.
All right, guys. We'll see you, man.
All right, Richard Davenport here with us on the Morning Rush. We're brought to you by Cheap Sleep. They got a great sale going on right now at Cheap Sleep that you do not want to miss. The back-to-school sale right now with mattresses, box springs, frames, all on sale right now. In fact, as low as $2.99. Gel memory foam mattresses. These are full sets that you need starting at $3.99. And more back-to-school savings on sofas and love seats and sectionals starting at $8.99. Plus, you get a free Split King mattress with a purchase of a Split King adjustable at just $15.99. Plus, 55% savings right now at Cheap Sleep. Now, you can also enter to win a $100 giveaway on Facebook. Cheap Sleep's back-to-school sale is going on now in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, and in Conway. Tell them you heard it right here on the Morning Rush, and they'll give you a free gift as well. We still got your SEC update to come up, and more to get to, and more recap from basketball practice here on the Morning Rush.
Have you listened to Trusting the Process on the Hit That Line podcast network yet? Check it out on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Save big on fiberglass in-ground pools at the Burton Pools & Spa's Inventory Reduction Sale. Get the pool your family has been begging for and save up to $7,000. Plus, get a free salt generator or 2 ledge loungers. 6 models to choose from while supplies last. At Burton Pools & Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Call, come by, or visit burtonpools.com. Burton Pools & Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer. Everyone loves great Tex-Mex. The best Tex-Mex around is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Tex-Mex brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, pork belly tacos, and the best fajitas in town. And when the Hogs are on TV, it's always half-price apps and taps. Your favorite drinks and the best Tex-Mex in town is at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
You have a job, kids, and a million things to do in no time, and now your car needs to be serviced or fixed or tires? Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier. Free shuttle service. Pickup delivery service free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. Jody'sAuto.com will make your life easier and take better care of your vehicle at the same time. Hi, Kim Bircher. See, the thing is, Jody'sAuto.com does everything. Everyday oil change specials. Tires are price matched, including the warehouse clubs and all the best brands. Any services, brakes, alignments, all the way to engines, and any maintenance. You are trusting your vehicle to a local company in business for 37 years. Voted best of the best time and time again. Honesty and customer service is always our number one goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. JODYS auto.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crab.
He's got a man wide open. It's Ronnie Wigno, number 20. scoots in for the touchdown, Arkansas.
Be listening for your chance to qualify for the Hardy 17th Annual Football Trip of a Lifetime. A date with the Titans and Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium November 6th.
And back here on the Morning Rush, we're going to talk about what we saw in basketball a little bit yesterday. Eric Musselman had some really positive things to say about Davante Davis as well that I want to touch on this morning.
Hey, if you're tired of constant computer issues at work and you don't really know what the problem is, you don't know if it's the router, you don't know if it's your hardware, you don't know if you have a cabling issue in your network system, or maybe it's the software, call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. If you're worried about cybersecurity right now, malware and other issues there, they've got great solutions to secure and protect your hardware, software, and your network. Call Daryl at 479-802-4978. It's 802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headaches.
I don't think you guys were in there. Maybe everybody was, but we were doing a defensive drill, and Devo was on the side, kind of coaching everybody from the side, and it was just a shell defense. And I kind of stopped everything and said, do you guys understand why Devo's on the sideline barking out instructions? And, everybody had their own thought and reason. I said, no, it's because he knows what it's like to get to an Elite Eight. That's why he's doing that. And he knows that this is a necessary piece to be a successful team. And some of you other guys don't know that haven't won at a high level.
I think that means a lot that Devo Davis has been back-to-back Elite Eight runs, and as a true freshman, he hit probably the biggest shot that he'll ever hit in his entire career when that helped beat Oral Roberts in that Sweet 16 game. And then last year, a big part of last year's run, and now he's taken on a new role where he hasn't necessarily been the leader, and he's having to do so because him and Kamani Johnson, Tommy, are the only returners, which is weird to say when a basketball team comprised of 15 total players, 13 scholarship players. And I guess we have to include the two other walk-ons as well, but the guys that are actually going to play and contribute, there's only two of them back.
Right, and I think that's just what we have come to be accustomed to with Eric Musselman, is there's just going to be not a little, but a lot of roster turnover. And I think next year, maybe there's less, but you're still, I think we all hope Nick Smith has the kind of year where he's a one-and-done player. That means he had a great year, and if he has a great year, I think it's very likely the team has a great year and has a chance to go far. I think it will be interesting to see how because I think ultimately you get to about an 8-man rotation. Does those 8, the last 2 or 3 players, maybe some matchup decisions change who that is in a game? I don't know how many games in conference play they'll go 10 deep. Unless there's a lot of foul trouble. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys play. I don't think you should pay attention to a lot of what goes on in Italy and Spain. You okay? Swallow some water wrong there? Man.
Sorry.
All choked up about it. So,
cough drop button over here.
Anyway, I think you'll see a lot of these guys play early, and then it'll just narrow down. But I think it'll change. And Joseph Pinion's a guy that, he caught my eye with the way he knocked down shots. If he can move fast in transition, get out ahead of the relay, spot up in the corner, he made several from the corner on threes, get to the elbow. Arkansas can be a very tough team in transition if Pinion's hitting shots, because I think he can get down there and get some open looks, and I think that's going to be one of the things they hope to showcase him in this season, is getting him down the floor and open for transition look threes.
And Eric Musselman talked about three-point shooting, Tommy, so you do need that element to this team. You like to have that element as an extra add. They're going to be able to get to the rim, I think, and this is going to be more of a versatile up-and-down team. You're going to see a lot more lobs. We saw some in practice with Jordan Walsh, Trevin Brazile, the Mitchell twins, and they were even working on it in practice the other day with the volleyball nets. There's going to be a heavy emphasis on, hey, when you get by your man, when you get by the defending point guard or shooting guard, and the opposing defender, most of the time a 5 or a 4 comes up, your guy's going to be cutting to the rim. Just throw it near the rim, and you're going to have an easy alley-oop, an easy assist, I think.
You bring up Jordan Walsh. What was your thoughts on him? Just watching him.
He didn't have a great practice, but he just didn't. And he had that one dunk that he got from Nick Smith. But, what we talked about, as soon as we left, you and I were talking, and you and I both agree, we can't make – you have a bad day of radio. I have a bad day of radio. We can't be judged on one day, one moment, one instance. This
1
is
hour.
over the course, 1 hour.
We got to watch an hour or so of practice.
Yeah, this is over the course of 10 practices. It was their 4th, so it wasn't his best practice. He'd tell you. Jordan would tell you that, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, you just got to come back ready to work. Do they go back to back to? How does that work?
But they've really had the 10 other practices that you're allowed, and now they've got these practices. They've had some work together. But yeah, I mean, for all the accolades he had through the recruiting process, and we know what kind of player he can be, I don't think we saw his A game yesterday. And that doesn't mean he's not going to be a great player. Doesn't mean he's not going to start games potentially. Doesn't mean he's not going to have some 20-point nights. We just didn't get to see that part of his game yesterday.
No, and I think also that the thing we have to talk about is the defense that Anthony Black brought up. It's like there's so much length, there's so much good defense. The practices probably aren't going to be pretty because of how good the defense is, and they're still getting acclimated to one another, how each moves off the ball, cutting, passing, all that. It's not going to be easy to score at practice, which I think is going to be good in turn when they actually play SEC and NCAA tournament defenses later on.
And it was pretty evident just watching practice. It is all set up for conditioning. Everything they do is done at a pace to maintain conditioning throughout the entire practice. So you could see that there was movement with purpose the whole time we were there, at least. Brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Material Group. They have immediate openings across their company. You can go to jobs.crh.com, and whether it's ready-mix driver openings in Harrison and in Northwest Arkansas, work in their quarries, work in their sand plants, all sorts of opportunities, whether it's maintenance. If you've got skills, construction skills, you've got the ability to drive a truck, you've got a CDL license, hey, they need to talk to you. They need some good people that want to go to work and work hard. Go to jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they are equal opportunity employers.
ESPN bracketologist Joe Lenardi here with my favorite number 1 seed, The Morning Rush.
When you need a plumber, call the name you know and trust. Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get a $129 drain cleaning plus a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Restrictions apply. If you have clogged drains, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to ashley.air.com to schedule your plumbing service. That's ashley.air.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
The Mega Millions jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $1 billion. So, what would you do if you won?
I'll be buying 3 boats. One for fishing on the lakes, one for fishing on the rivers, and one to take the family out.
The company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon Finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV to get the bonus and get into the action. Bet online, where the game starts.
This song was mistakenly thought to be about animal rights or shock therapy, but Shock the Monkey is really about jealousy. If we're just highly evolved primates, then why does adultery make us so irate? Natural selection would never make you hate someone who would seminate. It's because a supernatural God wired monogamy into our DNA. If you think this issue is benign, you'll be shocked to see Proverbs 6:29. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
A pre-owned vehicle that won't break the bank? Good luck in this market.
But wait, Joe knows good deals. That's right, Joe could get you in a pre-owned car as low as $269 a month, or a truck starting at only $299 a month. Joe knows how to give you more for your trade and save your hard-earned cash. Come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Supercenter, because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
PristineAuction.com is the most trusted sports memorabilia auction site. With an A+ BBB rating, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are over 1,000 autographed items available, so you win signed authentic signatures at affordable prices. Just last week, an autographed Justin Herbert jersey sold for $110. Deals like these are happening all the time on PristineAuction.com, and they have just about every player you could want, including Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and so much more. Every item on PristineAuction.com comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's most reputable authenticators. Upgrade your collection of signed memorabilia today and get $10 off your first item one when you use code HTL when you sign up. Again, PristineAuction.com, use code HTL and get $10 off your first item one. And that's not all. In addition to $10 off your first item, we are giving away a signed Traylon Burks Arkansas Razorbacks jersey to one lucky listener who signs up using this code HTL. Here's your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up on their website using our registration code HTL to be entered. Visit PristineAuction.com/register today.
Russellville and Van Buren provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
All right, so Kevin Warren at Big Ten Media Days was asked about the idea of an SEC Big Ten college football playoff, and he said everything is on the table, everything. That comes from Brandon Marcel, our buddy at 24/7 Sports. But at this point, Tommy, don't we just anticipate the Big Ten and the SEC continuing to expand down the road and having all the big dogs?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that's the thought, but do you expand unless you can expand your television and your league revenue? If you expand for the sake of expansion to keep up with the Joneses and the other league, all you're going to do is make the slices of the pie smaller. So, that happened when A&M and Missouri came into the league for a year or two. It wasn't even longer than that till the SEC network revenue came online. Each school got a little bit smaller revenue check. Well, nobody's on board for that following COVID. So
yeah,
you don't expand unless it's Notre Dame. It's pretty much it, right? I mean, Notre Dame and then who else? Because that's really the only reason you would expand is into new markets where you can expand the SEC network and what ESPN or another partner would pay you for your rights. If not, you go from making the check you're getting now, which is what, in the mid-50s, 50-something million?
I think they got 54. I'd have to go back and double check.
And it's going to go on this next deal into the 60s or maybe pushing 70, much like we project the Big Ten will be. So unless you're growing that, there's really no reason to expand. You can say it's about the student athlete and the academic and athletic experience, and But it's all about the dinero.
The money. So we'll have to keep it on.
Who could bring that to the table? Notre Dame, and then who are the other brands? I mean, you're not going to go get Ohio State. You're not going to go get Michigan. I don't believe. Those would be the schools that could move the needle for you revenue-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Miami. It's not Florida State, and it's not Clemson. The teams that could move the needle for you are the ones that are already the charter members of the Big Ten or Notre Dame.
Would you have a different opinion about Clemson if they hadn't had this off year and made the college football playoff again?
No, because where are they located? Where are their fans located? They're already inside your circle. What do they add? What do they add to your network equation and to ultimately your revenue equation? You've already got that market.
But do you not have the Austin market and all the Texas markets with
Texas
A&M?
is a national brand. Clemson is not a national brand.
Okay.
They don't bring the national audience the way Texas and Oklahoma do. They make sense because Texas and OU are a much bigger college brand, despite the recent success of Clemson. I mean, those programs have been legendary for decades. The 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I mean, there's a world of difference, in my opinion, between Texas and Oklahoma and Clemson.
Okay.
Do you agree or you disagree?
I mean, I don't know.
You think there's very many people in other time zones that make a point to watch Clemson football? Outside of the Central and the Eastern time zones?
I think we're skewed because of our Southwest Conference days and I don't know how many people in the Pac-12 are watching Texas football. I don't know how many people in the Big Ten are watching Texas football. I don't know how many people in the Northeast are going out of their way to watch Texas and Oklahoma. We're skewed because it's our most hated rival, and we like to watch them lose, which they have been a lot lately.
But Texas is a national brand.
I'm not arguing with that, but what I'm saying, they do have a huge fan base, but if you went to other parts of the country that's not in the Southeast and Big 12 country, how many people are going out of their way to watch it? That's the question I'm asking.
But as far as expansion for the sake of expanding, I think that's over. I mean, you go from 16 to me, you got to go to 18. Notre Dame's the one team that's an obvious, if they call and they want to come, you move the heavens and the earths to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, then it gets, Ohio State, Michigan, who else would you throw in there that would be ones that would move the needle for a league like the SEC? If you're the Big Ten, you're looking at it just reverse. Who else do you want at this point? Now you've got New York with Rutgers and Maryland and those teams that are on that end of your league. You got Chicago because that's where the Big Ten's more or less the heart of it. And now you've got the L.A. market. Well, unless you could go get Texas or maybe Texas A&M or someone to bring you the Texas markets, beyond that, who would you want? Bama because they have a national audience, Georgia because of the Atlanta market, and maybe Florida. Who else would the Big Ten want to add? Well, those teams aren't leaving the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So, is Oregon bring that much to the table? Not really. What's left of does Arizona State bring that much to the table?
I don't know how big the Phoenix market is. I don't know what's going to happen. I would like to actually hear what Greg Sankey thinks, not publicly but privately about this. We're not ever going to hear that with him and Chuck Dunlap, Craig Pinkerton, Herb Vincent, and all the people down at the SEC office what their actual opinion about this is rather than just what they have to say on public record.
It's Sankey's job to make sure those checks that go to the school are bigger, not smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And if you expand for the sake of expansion, you're probably just going to make those checks smaller because you're just dividing by a bigger number on the same amount of revenue.
This is a news update from WVTM 13 about Gene Stallings, the former Alabama coach. Apparently has had a third stroke that he had a few weeks back. The 92 national champions.
Maybe one of the best defenses to ever play college football.
Yeah,
that team.
And he played under Bear Bryant, correct?
I believe that's right. I think that was required of the job.
Yeah, at the time.
You had to be a Bama man.
So that was did get that. Hopefully he's doing better, but anytime a stroke is involved, I know it's affected our company and it's affected my family with my great-grandma, Grandma Key. It's just
I think we've all been touched by it.
It's kind of like cancer. It's just one of those things that unfortunately touches everyone in some way, shape, or form.
Well, and the effects of it and then the results of what it means for your family and giving care to that person, it's just it can be devastating.
Mm-hmm. Last thing, Eli Drinkowitz was on the Jim Rome show and said, I thought you were going to introduce my record, but with the latest allegations against Tennessee, let's hold up on what my record is because I expect them to vacate some wins, and that can help my record out a little bit. Kind of bold. He's not shy on speaking his mind sometimes. You may not like him, but I at least appreciate that part about Eli Drinkowitz, Tommy.
Yeah, and, Arkansas guy, I don't know. How do people in Arkansas feel about Eli Drinkowitz? What do you think the common fan here? So I don't feel like there's much connection because he coached. He was an assistant coach under Malzahn. He was never really a high school coach here. He's from Alma. I just don't know how much the average Razorback fan really connects him to our state. But I could certainly see him being at least a name that is thrown around, a candidate for when the day and time comes that job in Fayetteville comes open when Pittman retires or whatever. So, but he's got to have a lot more success in Missouri, and I just don't know if that's a place where you can have consistent success is Missouri. And a lot of people outside our state would say the same thing about Arkansas, but I'd much rather be in Arkansas shoes than Missouri shoes.
Michael in Bonanza said he connects with him 0%.
I think Michael's exactly like most of us. There's zero connection unless you live in a certain part of Crawford County.
That's going to do it for your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air.
Hey, do you need a plumber? Call the name you know and trust. That's Ashley Air. The same great people that take care of your heating and cooling system can also meet your plumbing needs. Right now, take $50 off any plumbing repair or get your drain cleaned out if it's stopped up for $129. That comes with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Some restrictions apply. If you've got clogged drains or leaky faucets, Ashley Air is the one to call. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your plumbing service today. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
I'll push the Ruskin cameo back towards tomorrow. I do want y'all to hear that. We'll let Clay react to that coming up, but let's come back to what we announced at the top of the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we're happy to announce that Chuck Barrett, I don't have to explain to you who he is and what he's done and what he means to all of you out there as fans in our state, as enthusiasts of what we do here each morning, midday, and afternoon. We're glad to announce that he's coming on our team, going to join the ESPN Arkansas team and the Morning Rush team beginning next week. So looking forward to Monday and Chuck being with us. In fact, he's out of town for a few days, but he's going to join us for just a few minutes tomorrow by phone, we hope. And he'll be with us on the Morning Rush 3 days a week. He's going to be on with halftime. Clay will be with us tomorrow. He's going to be on with halftime more moving forward. And we got some other programming lineup changes to share with you in the coming days. But we couldn't be happier about the news we have to share with you. And it's great for everyone listening because I know a lot of you are familiar with 15 years ago when his radio show ended and all the great times we all shared together on Sports Rap back in the day. And I'm just looking forward to all of us together being able to hear his insights and opinions and thoughts on a variety of topics beginning next week on the Morning Rush as Chuck Barrett joins us full-time here on the Morning Rush beginning next week.
Now, is that not going to cut into his golf time? That's the first thing I thought of when you
He's got to push the tee time back to about 10.
When you initially mentioned that to me, because Chuck has told me many times he'll get up early and play golf with a group of guys. And I'm thinking, well, when you initially brought this idea to me, my first thought is, well, how is he going to do that with this labeled, locked-in golf games? But I guess
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
He's just going to shift the days to Tuesdays and Thursdays. Don't be surprised if his golf game takes a dip when he was initially playing 4 or 5 times a week, and he's now just playing twice a week during football.
Football's about here. All of our golf games are going to suffer for the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was pitched the idea by some Morning Rush listeners about getting new golf clubs, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to play for till what, February or March, and even while the NCAA tournament stuff, so like April. Once football season starts, maybe a little bit more in August, and then once September hits, it's bye-bye golf.
It's just so, no one wants to not play because of the heat, but because of the heat, it's miserable. And then because of the heat, a lot of the courses are just burned up right now, which means you can probably get an extra 30 on your drive right now, but you may not know where it's going by the time it gets off that fairway.
That means I get a discount when I'm up in Fayetteville this weekend to play at the Blessings, right? That's how that works.
We call Mr. Tyson about that and see what Mr. Tyson says about your discount.
The course doesn't look as good as it usually does.
I guess he's got plenty of water to keep on that course.
Yeah, somehow.
The courses we're used to playing that they actually allow us on, a little more difficult.
Yeah.
A little more of a challenge.
I think
keep them watered.
I think somehow, some way that Blessings is looking nice and pristine as it always does.
I bet it doesn't look like it's missed a drop.
Nope, it has not. But yeah, we're excited. We'll again talk with Chuck a little bit tomorrow, get his thoughts on his new job, working with a youngster, working with the middle-aged dude. What is Chuck? Is Chuck he's 59? Is that right?
I'm not going to lie about his age. I would say 49 just to be safe.
I think he's in his late 50s. He's going to have to.
Guys don't care. He's in his 50s.
Yeah, so he'll. We'll again have the.
None of us are getting any younger.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like this black guy that I'm dealing with, talking about age, I think it's turned into a sty now because it has been irritating as all get out.
It looks worse today than it's looked at all in the last since you got back from Atlanta.
I know. It looks horrible.
It's terrible.
So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I have a doctor's appointment today. I'm going to ask him, Dr. Calloway, do I need to go see Dr. Stiles to look at the side? And he's either going to tell me yes or no or tell me to suck it up. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But we'll have a Friday show for you. Chris Lowe, ESPN.com, is going to join us at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Excited to chat with him as well. For Tommy Kraft, Drew Barrett, I'm Ty Richardson. Everyone have a great Thursday. Don't spend it sitting on your hands.
Day 209 on the island. There is still no rescue in sight. I long for the simple comforts of home. The leather seats, the spacious interior, the 12